Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Ohio State got an addition from the transfer portal as Wisconsin linebacker Christian Allegro is committed to the Buckeyes. Ohio State has 2 visits from 2 Alabama defensive linemen scheduled today. Safety Keenan Nelson Jr. is entering the portal and leaving Columbus after 2 seasons. 25% of NFL teams are looking for new head coaches now as the Miami Dolphins have fired Mike McDaniel this morning. The Ohio State men's basketball team starting a 2-game West Coast swing tonight in Eugene, taking on Oregon at 10:30. The Bucks will be without forward Brandon Knoll, who is going to miss some time with a foot injury he suffered in the loss to Nebraska Monday. Brandon Beam and the fan warm-up show gets underway at 9:30. Network coverage takes over at 9:45. We get late-night hockey, too, tonight as the Columbus Blue Jackets continue their 4-game trip out west against the Vegas Golden Knights. Puck drop in Vegas is at 10.
It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
And here we go. Welcome back in to another edition of Rothman and Ice. I'm Matty Ice, TLC in the house doing his thing on the board. And to my right today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to welcome in a national champ by the name of Joshua Perry, JP. Welcome in, my man. How you been? It's been too long. I didn't know if I would ever see this day come again, man.
It has been at least 5 years since you and I have done a complete show together. Yeah. So I'm glad to be back here. We had some really fun times. Really, the NFL Hour kind of put my career on that rocket ship, so I've got you to thank for that.
And CB, our former producer.
Oh, yeah.
So for the folks that don't know, when we were at the old building, and JP, I think it's been a lot longer than 5 years, man. I don't think we haven't done a show since the pandemic, like before that. And so Tuesday nights on The Fan at 8 o'clock, we would kick off the NFL Hour. Us two, CB on the board. It was a good time, man.
It was a good time.
You and I trying to really get into this thing, right? I was really trying to get into the hosting thing. You were really getting into the media stuff.
I was trying to figure out how to even turn the mic on. You know, it was one of those.
It was awesome, man. So, yeah, I look back at that time, and it was definitely a fun point for me as we were really getting going. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You know we love you. Shout out to everybody listening. No matter how you are listening, we appreciate you. Here is our menu for today. Bottom of this hour, 12:30, Stephen Means, Cleveland.com. He'll stop by. We'll chop it up about everything Ohio State football. 1:30, Dan Dockich is going to kick off our basketball coverage right here from noon to 3. He's been rocking with us for a few years now, so we'll get his thoughts on Ohio State, the Big Ten, some great freshmen around the sport of college basketball right now, so I'm sure he'll have some good things to say. And then Rick Neuheisel, he'll stop by, college football for CBS, SiriusXM, former head coach around the sport. We'll chop it up with him as well about the college football playoff, which gets going tonight. As always, quick reminder, you miss anything from our show, don't worry. You can always catch up. And wherever you get your podcast, all you have to do, folks, is type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3, we'll be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the podcast as well. Bet365 is the sponsor of the Rothman and Ice podcast. JP, how's the family? How's all that going, man?
Everything's good. I've got 2 under 2. So for those of you out there who have done that, you know exactly what I'm going through right now. My son, James, is a brute. He's a hellion. We were playing around before I left, and I had him up on my back, and like I'm crawling around or whatever, and he starts sliding off. And so I just, we got carpeted room. I let him fall. And my wife is like, why would you do that? He's on the ground laughing. And I'm like, that's why. That's why. And then Charlotte, the 4-month-old's a little sweetheart. So your boy can't even catch up on the reality TV right now. I can't even make it upstairs because I'm so tired at the end of the night.
We got a lot to get into on that front, too. I am currently watching Succession. Did you ever watch that show?
I've never watched it.
I think you would enjoy that. And so put that on the, on the box list. Check that off maybe in the summertime. You can get to that. It's on HBO Max. I think you would enjoy that ride. But national TV for you, man. I am genuinely so happy for you, man.
I appreciate it.
We've been watching you from here for years and years now, just rise up in the ranks. What is that lifestyle like for you, just doing big-time broadcasting now on NBC?
It's a blessing. And I'll say this, like a lot of my career has come down to just being in the right place at the right time. As you know, like the breaks come when they come. But it's been a lot of fun. And I'll say the biggest thing for me is I love celebrating college football. It's a sport that I came up through. It's a sport that I'm most recognized for. And I appreciate telling the stories and watching the journeys of these different teams. best part about what I get to do, I work with a lot of great people. And I've done that at different places I've been at, but also staying connected and meeting the different coaches and seeing the new players come through and being able to connect with those people and like feel like I'm still a part of the game has been awesome. But journey, no doubt.
Yeah.
Little getting some miles in now.
Yeah, you only getting
traveling,
started.
so it's all
started,
good,
man. You're only getting started. Speaking of college football, you mentioned celebrating it. We get to do that again tonight. The semifinals are here for the college football playoff out there in the desert. We get the Hurricanes. We get Ole Miss. Miami favored by 3 right now. So Vegas expecting what should be a good game out there. JP, as you know, this is a good on good matchup as far as Ole Miss's offense and what they can bring to the field, and Miami's defense and what they've brought to the field all year long. And so I'm here for this Ole Miss story. I kind of like this energy that they've got going on right now. A little bit of the kind of, blank you type of energy right now, maybe to Lane Kiffin and some of the coaches that went elsewhere. But credit to Pete Golding and his staff for getting this thing in order because
the parts of the staff that are there.
Correct. That's what I was going to say. This has been a very clunky ride on that side of things for them. But offensively, last time we saw Ole Miss, it was a really good showing, and I can't wait to see what it looks like tonight.
Well, here's the thing, and I'll kind of go back, and we're going to talk about Lane Kiffin a little bit later on, but the reason Lane Kiffin left was because he didn't think that he had a championship team at Ole Miss this year and probably didn't think that he could build one. And so these guys are definitely like, no, we're going to prove you wrong. I think if Lane Kiffin was still coaching that team, they'd have been out by now. But I think the idea of these dudes being able to prove him wrong on his way out has kind of carried them. You mentioned the performance against Georgia. Trinidad Chambliss, dude becomes basically a college football legend off of what he was able to do in that game. And the question is, can he repeat that against Miami? Because to me, if he can get the ball out on the perimeter and if they can move with tempo, now all of a sudden you're not worried about Bain and Messidor like we were when we were playing Miami. And that takes away a little bit of their superpower. But it's a Miami team that's built through the trenches. Yeah. You know they can apply that pressure. So Ole Miss defense is not very good. They're not great against the run. You know Miami's going to want to run the ball, control the tempo of it. I'm rolling with the Hurricanes in this one, but I do think it has a chance to be an electric game.
And Miami's coming into this thing with so much confidence now, right? Because they had to hear all year, hey, you're playing in the ACC. The loss to SMU, the loss to Louisville. Some people think they didn't belong in the playoff, and now you clip what a lot of people thought was the best team, probably them in Indiana, that being Ohio State, and now they're rolling, right? They got a head coach who keeps things in order down in the trenches, as you mentioned, and they got a veteran quarterback that's played in a lot of football and big-time games.
So I'll start with Carson Beck, and it's interesting watching him because I think that Miami has tried to take the game off of his shoulders as much as possible, and I know that feels like a knock, but it's allowed Carson Beck to really manage games where he's not asked to try to make explosive plays down the field. He can use his legs, as we saw, to keep that offense on schedule. He hasn't made the critical mistakes because they're not asking him to do too much. And I think his maturity and probably humility at this point, having to kind of start from the bottom, has allowed him to lean into that. But Mario Cristobal and what he's done to get the U back to being a place that people look at as a power is so intriguing to me. He's a guy that played there. And when you see the cutaways to the sidelines and everybody's looking at Michael Irvin, he's down there on all fours and he's got the belt, but having guys like him around, having Ray Lewis around, right? Like the idea that you bring the legends back to the program, I think that's changed their locker room because those guys in the locker room are looking at the legends.
Yeah.
And they're saying, we have to return Miami to what these guys were doing. And I think that is as big of a deal for that program as anything. The fact that they found a guy who was homegrown, but he was able to invite everybody back to try to be that example. Talk to the guys. Let them know what the U used to be. And it's starting to look a little bit more U-ish now.
It absolutely is. And for me personally, I think when Miami's rolling, when Texas is rolling, Notre Dame, Ohio State, that's when the sport is really healthy.
Feels right.
Those brands from the 80s and the 90s, early 2000s that were at their peaks, right? It feels like we're kind of coming back to that full circle. So, yeah, this game tonight I'm fired up about. The one tomorrow should be an absolute banger with Indiana and Oregon. Let's hear from Pete Golding. Here he is on trying to keep his guys in line, amidst some of the chaos with all the coaching staff and how clunky that's been.
I think we got enough guys to be able to coach and know the system and do it the right way. So mine has just been trying to keep it as routine as possible. And that's been the whole thing the entire time. This is still the 2025 season, all right? And everybody done a lot of really good things to put ourselves in a position to be able to do this. And I wasn't trying to change everything. This is about finishing out the 2025 season the right way with whatever we have to do that.
Very impressive on his front, right? And then we mentioned Chambliss, his ability over the last 2 games to play fairly clean, 4 touchdowns, only 1 interception. You expecting a lot of points in this one or a lower scoring type of game?
So I think that's kind of the pivot point of this one. If it's a low scoring game, it feels like Miami got to play the game that they wanted to and that they would be victorious. If we get into this having to match points and Trinidad Chambliss is creating the magic, now we might have to see Carson Beck do the win the game on your arm thing. And how confident do you feel about that?
That can get dicey based off of Beck's history, right? Because he has those games where it looks like, man, that could be a top 10 pick.
Right.
And then when you try to put too much on his plate, he can run you into a buzzsaw, right? And you're talking 2, maybe 3 interceptions in certain type of games. And so I think you touched on it. We've seen it throughout this playoff. They can balance this thing out with Fletcher. They can let that defense hunt in certain spots. That's where you want to be, I think, with Carson Beck. And so it should be a fascinating matchup tonight for sure out there at the Fiesta Bowl. Coming up, a tricky financial situation could be on the horizon for Ryan Day and his staff. We'll fill you in next, right after the break. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Would you enjoy watching a football game if the officials were paid a bonus for every flag they threw? Or a basketball game where the refs got paid for every foul they called? Okay, how about hiring a furnace and AC company that pays its technicians by the number of parts they can sell you? Hi, this is Dennis, president of Care Heating and Cooling, and today, this is how many companies operate. They call it performance pay, and it rewards technicians by paying them more for billing you more. Why is this bad? Because it abuses your trust in a technician to be treated fairly and honestly. At Care, we've been family-owned for 31 years and have always paid our technicians by the hour for repairs. We'll show you exactly what needs to be fixed and why, and give you our low upfront cost before we start. And unlike other companies, our technicians will never be rewarded for throwing more flags. Our Central Ohio-based staff is here for you 7 days a week. Care Heating and Cooling. Book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com or call us at 1-800-COOLING. When you need a company you can trust.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on the team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays, too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
What does it mean to give 100%? It means giving everything you've got, every single day. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. So no matter what you give, we give 100% for life-saving research victories, 100% to making new discoveries that lead to innovative treatments, 100% to groundbreaking cancer research that could one day save someone you love. We know cancer research is working. Over the last 30 years, an estimated 4.5 million lives have been saved thanks to game-changing research breakthroughs. But there is more work to do. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. We will always give 100% to accelerate victory over cancer.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate today at v.org.
Day 1, the hardest day. The day you hear,
This is a type of blood cancer.
At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1. To learn more and get help on any day, visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting. Just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move. A pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
The Jackets hit the road for a battle with the Avalanche. Live fan coverage starts Saturday afternoon at 3:30.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating and Cooling.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Fan.
Flexible, secure, fun. Oh, and great pay, too. Are you not sure what you want to do for a career? Or are you thinking of changing careers? Being a dental hygienist or dental assistant may be the perfect fit for you and provides all of these perks, plus more. Talk with a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org to learn more. Become a valuable member of the dental team and start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Around the world, Children International and friends like you are giving children in poverty a chance to grow and thrive, to be healthy, to succeed in school, and achieve great things. How do we do it? In the best way possible, by helping ensure access to healthcare, nutrition, and educational opportunities. And most importantly, by empowering youths and their families to get out of poverty and into employment through life skills, computer, and job training. The very tools they need to break the cycle of poverty and build futures full of promise. Because every child deserves a chance to realize their full and best potential. Learn more about how Children International is empowering children and families by going to children.org today. That's children.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Could see some patchy lingering fog today, otherwise mostly cloudy and mild with highs in the mid to upper 50s. For tonight, lows in the upper 40s to low 50s, gusty winds, and we'll see showers developing going toward daybreak on Friday. For Friday, we could see scattered showers and even isolated thunderstorms. It will be significantly warmer and breezy with highs in the mid to low 60s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Anthony once got Jack Nicklaus to quote the movie Caddyshack, so he's got that going for him.
The last time I saw a mouth like that, I had a hook.
Which is nice. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Let's go while we're young.
Welcome back in, folks. Happy Thursday to you. Happy college football playoff semifinal day to you. The former Buckeye and national champion Joshua Perry in the house today for AR. We had a ESPN on up there in the commercial, and it was a college football playoff commercial. You looked at me and said, what?
None of the teams in that promo are playing.
Insane, man.
They're all out.
We're at a point to where maybe we're looking at the impact of the portal and the NIL and how maybe you can spread out some of this talent around, the nation to certain programs, and the Mount Rushmore programs are going to have a stranglehold on this thing every year the way that they used to.
I mean, watching Indiana completely belt Alabama, that's the example. And of course, right, Saban leaves, legend of the game, that changes Alabama, but it's still supposed to be a place where you could stockpile talent, and even the rosters as they're constructed, Alabama's is still better than Indiana's, but Indiana's super veteran roster. They got a lot of guys that played a lot of football.
They don't make mistakes.
They hit on the transfer quarterback.
Yeah.
Don't make mistakes.
Yep.
And now that's how you get a program to rise from the ashes. And another one that's legendary looks like it's starting to crumble a little bit.
No doubt. You mentioned, Signetti hitting on the quarterback. Pretty good with Curtis Rourke in year one. Really good this year because it's looking like Mendoza may be the 1-1, and then they've got this
Big Hoove.
Josh Hoover coming in from TCU. For the folks that haven't seen him, JP, what are they getting now in Josh Hoover?
So it's the same thing. Kurt Signetti has a type. So you look at Curtis Rourke in Fernando Mendoza, and outside of the actual talent level of the quarterbacks, both of them were very good in the operation of an RPO offense. Hoover, very good in the operation of an RPO offense. So he's a guy that you plug and play because he's going to know how to do what they ask him to do. And then you figure out how he ticks. Like, what are the things that he needs to work on? You develop that. That's what he did with Fernando Mendoza. And he still deals with this a little bit. At Cal was a dude who was always looking at the pass rush. He was susceptible to being sacked. If he had to go through progression 1 through 4, he's probably not getting through it. So Kurt Cignetti develops him, coaches him up on how to be better, but also says, we're RPOing it, so we're only going to give you a couple reads here. You don't have to go 1 through 4 all the time, and it's made him a much better quarterback.
Yeah, which speaks to good coaching, right? And knowing your personnel and knowing your guys and saying he has these skill sets we can build off of. Let's make him comfortable and keep him in that lane. And so, yeah, their portal class that they're currently putting together. Nick, go ahead.
Here's the other part.
Yep.
Mark Cuban is like, finally, I have a reason to donate to the football program.
Make it rain.
They have alignment that is uncommon. Through the administration of the university, the administration of the athletic department, and the football coach, they're all on the same page. So now you've got donors that are willing, so that helps out. They've got 2 coordinators that they decided to lock up. They're Bryant Haynes, their defensive coordinator, who was a GA for Ohio State in 2013 working with the linebackers. So I knew him way before. $3 million a year now. $3 million a year now. Right? So that's how a real college football program operates.
Yep.
They build alignment, they get the funds, they spend the funds on the people that they need around. That's players and coaches, and then they start balling.
And then you can sell to guys in the portal and high school recruits. Look at the structure we have.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to change around here for a while. And so, yeah, they're off and running. We'll talk to Dan Dockich later about that because he's down there in Indiana. Obviously, I'm sure he's got a good feel on the financial component of it with the boosters that you're talking about. Speaking of financials, Austin and Berm, our guys here at The Fan do an awesome job on social media, YouTube with their own show, Austin and Berm. An interesting nugget coming from Berm today in regards to Ohio State running back Bo Jackson. TLC's got the sound ready to go for us. Let's take a listen.
The primary discussion all day Wednesday on the Letterman Row message board has been about Bo Jackson because, he's a guy that is in a similar position to Quincy Porter, but he actually contributed and actually had a major impact on the team.
Very dissimilar in that way.
Right. So he actually has a bit of an argument, I think, to walk in and say, hey, I came in for less money. I did the right things. I contributed. Now I'm the guy. Let's talk. And I think that's a different conversation. I think Ohio State still has to make some tough decisions in those circumstances because I still struggle with the idea that a college second-year running back should make more money than a second-round pick in the NFL draft, like TreVeyon Henderson. And from what I understand, the request from that side is more than what TreVeyon's salary was for the New England Patriots this year, and more than both TreVeyon and Quinshawn made in their final year at Ohio State. So, and maybe combined. So, it becomes a very different conversation than it ever has before. And if you look at the way the NFL has devalued running backs over the last few years, if you look at the way that the game is going, I don't know that you can reasonably and logically just pay for everyone for that amount of money.
Very interesting, right? And little bit of Fat Joe in my brain right now. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Never is.
And I think that's what a lot of these guys are thinking, especially as Austin and Berm were alluding to. When you're a guy that has gone out there and played at a pretty high level, right, and had a lot put on your plate as a freshman and performed at a pretty high level all year long, you're going to circle back around and look at not only your body of work, but your current position room as well. And C.J. Donaldson's now out of the equation. We know now James Peoples is over there at Penn State. It's not surprising to hear this, JP, because I think this is just the era that we're in, and guys feel like they have certain leverage, so they're going to come back to the table and try to cash in.
It's an interesting thing, and I'll put this out here. The idea that a college player might be asking for more than what a rookie in the NFL. So we've seen these different breakdowns of kind of how you slot out how much players are worth value for NIL. If he's asking for $1 million a year, which would be what a top running back in college football would ask for, yeah, that's going to be more than the $840 that TreVeyon Henderson made in base salary. Now, the hidden part of that is Trey Henderson's on an $11 million contract. Some of that signing bonus was prorated out for this year. I don't know how much of it. So he certainly is not asking for more than what Trey actually made this year. That's not a thing. But if the market is telling you that RB1 should be getting $1 million, don't you have to, if you want that type of player in your building, don't you have to pay him? Like I would think so, yeah. At a certain point, you don't just get to dictate the market because guys will take a little bit of a discount to be at certain places. Mm-hmm. We got to get in the neighborhood, though. Yeah. We have to get in the neighborhood. And so if they're bringing you an offer from somewhere else, which, by the way, tampering's insane, but here we are, I think you have to consider, are we willing to lose this guy over a couple $100,000 or trying to make an example?
And he is going to be and needs to be such a key piece of what they do next year offensively. Right?
I agree.
Because you have the quarterback wide receiver connection with Julian and Jeremiah, but we saw Bo just pop off. I mean, think about the game in Ann Arbor. Think about some of the other moments that he has. I think he has a chance to be special.
Let me give you this one. So everybody's talking about Mark Fletcher Jr. like he's a hero for what he did against Ohio State in the quarterfinals. Bo Jackson had a higher yards per carry in the same football game than Mark Fletcher Jr. did. That's the type of player that he is as a true freshman. You got to give him the pill a little bit more, in my opinion. I can't let that walk out the door.
No, you can't.
I can't let that go.
Because he's got game-breaking ability, right? That kind of blink of an eye. Hey, maybe you get into a game that's grimy, it's in the mud, and in the blink, that guy can change it and take it to the house. We've seen that from him, and so my gut is I think they'll figure it out. Because what we're saying, clearly Coach Day, he knows what he has in this guy, and you don't want to take away from the momentum that I think they can create this all season with those guys getting in the lab with Coach Mick, those guys just being year 2, year 3 players, with Julian and Jeremiah and Bo Jackson. You're looking at a chance to have potentially the best three-headed monster in the sport offensively with what those guys can do. Now, JP, as we know, coming out of the last 2 games, they got to clean things up front and get a better product up front in front of Julian and Bo Jackson, because I don't care how good those guys are, and we know those guys are really good. If the offensive line doesn't get things in order, then we could be talking about, again, some moments throughout a season, and maybe more importantly, in some of these matchup games against better talent, that things aren't going to go their way again.
So I'll use this as the example. There, 3 of the 4 teams that are playing tonight and tomorrow have built both of their trenches in a way where they say that's going to be the most important thing for us. I think Ole Miss on the offensive line has done a pretty good job. Their defensive line, to me, got some freaks out there, but I don't think they're really like that. That's all you need to tell me, right? You got Oregon, who's got Joe Moore finalist offensive line. We see some of the aliens they have up front on defense. Indiana on both sides. You can't block them on defense. Their offensive line never makes a mistake, right? You're looking at a Miami team, which Ohio State faced. We know what the deal is there. And if I'm trying to build a contender, that's what I'm building. Michigan built it that way when they won. Last year, Ohio State, by the end of the year,
they had it
on both sides.
They had it.
Yes. And these teams that we're getting ready to watch play in the semifinals. That's how they're built. So they got to emphasize it.
The game, since it was invented, was built that way, right?
It's offensive line, defensive line.
That's it, man. Right? You can have all the sexy toys you want,
and you got to have them.
And you have to have those too. But you got to have, like, on that plate, if the sexy offensive stuff is that nice filet, got to have the veggies too.
Yeah, you do.
You got to have the balance too.
Yeah.
And so it's just going to be so important to get that in order, because if they do, then the offense, again, should be sky high. But more importantly, in some of those big time games next year when you go on the road to Texas, right? You got to deal with that crew. You can maybe go down there and move some dudes around and have the offense hum the way you want it to. Coming up in 2 minutes, we will continue Ohio State football talk with Stephen Means from Cleveland.com. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
Are you ready to transform your future and become a confident leader? Look no further than the Ohio State University Army ROTC program. For over a century, they've been developing future Buckeye leaders, shaping careers that change lives. Enroll now and seize the opportunity to apply for their life-changing scholarships. Whether you dream of serving your country or pursuing a successful career, the Ohio State University Army ROTC is here to support you every step of the way. Don't miss out. Visit arotc.osu.edu today to learn more and take the first step towards an extraordinary future.
Have a good day. Stay warm. So my teenage son just went to school in shorts and a hoodie. It's 3 degrees. At least I know he'll be warm in our house, thanks to Atlas Butler. If something goes wrong, they'll fix it within 24 hours. They call it their comfort pledge. Ah, you do want the coat.
My phone.
Oh, your phone. Should have known.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Start the year off moving, not hurting. With joint pain, if it's holding you back, listen up. There's a way to get relief without surgery, no downtime, and without putting your life on pause. Dr. Tessner and the other pros right here at QC Kinetics in Columbus, Ohio, they can deliver regenerative treatments that actually help your body repair areas that are causing you the pain. Those achy hips, knees, shoulders, back, wherever it hurts. And the results, 97% of Cleveland patients report satisfaction with the results. So instead of facing an invasive operation that's side sidelines you for months. These treatments, they happen right in office and you go about your day. I should know. I've had them. My dad has had them. They feel good and they can deliver life-changing results. Imagine moving around better, being stronger, planning the year you actually want. Do not wait. January is supposed to be a clean slate, so make it yours. So go call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Want to jinx your favorite sports team?
Please get out of my Van Halen t-shirt before you jinx the band and they break up.
Just ask Maddie to print your shirts. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
That you are. Welcome back in. Joshua Perry in the house today for AR. Going to light up right now. The Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Gas Hotline. Bring on Stephen Means from Cleveland.com. Does an awesome job covering Ohio State football. Also the host of the Buckeye Talk podcast. So check that out as well. Stephen, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Doing well, man. Appreciate your time as always. We just got done talking about some of the Bo Jackson stuff that's out there, maybe how he and his camp are coming to the table again, looking for a little bit of a boost financially. What do you think of that situation? What do you know about it?
Oh, I think all of this is just wonderful for the sport of college football. Listen, I think what you have going on with this portal right now for Ohio, not just Ohio State, but really around the country right now, is you have some combination of some guys who are asking for more money because they think they're going to be starters, and so they want to get paid like starters before they've ever even proven they should be starters or earned a starting role. And then you have guys who are in Bo Jackson's position who are maybe looking around at the market after you had conversations with your coaches and with the necessary people in the program in December and thought one thing, and then you look at the market now and think maybe something else, because you see your value and think you have leverage for a situation right now. So what we're seeing is, 14 days of just negotiations on negotiations on negotiations. And just when you thought things were settled, something else throws a rock in the pond, and so now you're back at the negotiation table again. Do I think that Bo Jackson ends up being Ohio State's starting running back this year? Sure. But also from a fan perspective, this is college sports now. Is every year on January 2nd through January 16th, as long as this is the portal window, this is what you're going to see is a crazy amount of chaos, because there's a lot of different negotiations happening behind the scenes with a lot of different guys.
No, I think to that point, too, having just a one portal window now has made it so there's this crazy frenzy and the market's going crazy because everybody's trying to figure out what the roster is going to be and players are trying to move. But let me ask you this, though, because to me it feels like in some of these negotiations that Ohio State maybe they don't want to overpay, which I don't blame anybody for saying that they don't want to overpay a guy. But philosophically, what do you think about the NIL approach to how they're dealing with negotiations with guys that are on the roster?
Yeah, I think everything has to be a living adaptation at this point. Ohio State has made it clear through the years that their first goal is retention, whether that's guys who are already going to be back in college football regardless, if it's their stars, whether it's Jeremiah Smith, Brandon Ennis, Bo Jackson, Julian Sand, whether it's guys who maybe could go pro, and it's like, okay, maybe you're a third or fourth round grade. Hey, you can make that money here, trying to compete for another national championship, while also maybe raising your draft grade in the process. And that's what you see happening with guys like Kenyatta Jackson and Max Clare and Caden McDonald, specifically those three, because I do think all three of them could leave, but they also could come back depending on what their draft grades are, right? So I think I agree with what Ohio State is doing in terms of roster retention first and then fill holes where you need them to fill holes. But as you said, Josh, having this one portal window means some of that roster retention you just have to be okay with losing. And that means guys where if you bring a guy in and he's been here 12 months, let alone 2-3 years down the line here, and he hasn't shown you that by now you think 100% he is going to be an impact player for you in 2026, you can't hold on to that guy, because with all due respect to some of these guys, and I know fans have fallen in love with some of these players because they were committed, you fell in love with their stories, it's a waste of money to have a guy sitting on your bench that you don't think can play for you at this point.
Stephen Means from Cleveland.com joining us here on The Fan to talk all things Ohio State football. Let's lock in on this wide receiver room right now. You know, Jeremiah Smith makes it clear he's not going anywhere, but Some other parties have now left. How concerned should Buckeye fans be about where that room is currently?
JJ's still a Buckeye, right? That's we all. Okay, cool. I'm not really all that concerned about it, to be honest with you. I just think I tweeted this photo the other day of the 2021 room, and it was cool looking at the top of it with Jackson Smith-Njigba and Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. But it's the fact that you had Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Buka. You had 5 first-rounders, and 2 of them didn't play. And the only games they really got significant tick in was the Rose Bowl, and that's because 2 of the top guys opted out of that game. We need to let go of that idea. We're never seeing that again. And it's because of what I was talking about earlier. You can't – Quincy Porter, maybe he was going to be a starter for you this year, but who knows? Maybe Mylan Graham was going to be a starter for you this year. Maybe Chris Henry Jr. is as good as the hype, and he's a starter for you next year. But you're just never going to see depth like that. This is going to look a lot more like the NFL with how Ohio State's going to have to build its roster. You can't have 4- and 5-star guys where it's like, okay, they're sitting – and they're developing, and that's why teams like Ohio State and Georgia and Alabama and Texas at its heyday were so much better than everybody else. It wasn't just because their starters were good. It's because you could be a backup, and it's like that guy's a future first-round draft pick. That guy's a future All-Big Ten player. I don't know if that's going to be true anymore. It's going to be you got your superstars, you got your starter-level players, you got maybe a little bit of depth, and then you got guys filling out the roster because you have to be better with how you go about using your finances. Unless Ohio State, this is just to be real about it, unless the Mark Cuban of Ohio State or the Phil Knight of Ohio State just like randomly shows up one day and goes, I'm going to fit the bill here. This is how they're going to have to go about managing their money and making sure they're maximizing every single part of their roster.
They said, Matty Ice, open up that wallet. That's what they said. That's what they said. All right, so you mentioned this idea of filling in the gaps, and we see now with players leaving for the NFL, with some of the players that are leaving for the portal, that Ohio State is going to have gaps here. Who are some of the big targets that are still remaining in the portal that Ohio State should go after?
Yeah, I think Ohio State's done a heck of a job of keeping a lot of this stuff in-house, and the reason why is because what you don't want to do is make things public, and then they start hiking up some of these prices here. They're in the – you look for a kicker. They have to find a kicker. I know the kicker from Illinois, that's become a big deal. They just landed the linebacker from Wisconsin earlier this morning, the wide receiver yesterday. But it's I think they need to go find a running back just for the sake of the upside of the room. They probably do need to go find another receiver. I know Mylan Graham is in the transfer portal, but if there is a guy who is in the portal right now who could – come back, and this is not me saying he will come back or won't come back. Listen, this is all fluid, right? This is one day you think this, and the next day it's a whole other conversation. But Mylan Graham is a guy they are actively still trying to retain on the roster. We'll see what happens in that situation there. I think, obviously, Chaz Coleman, a lot of fans have fallen in love with that name as an Ohio guy who was at Penn State last year, and now he's in amidst of negotiations with Ohio State and LSU and Tennessee. We'll see what happens there. I don't think it's necessarily looking great, but we'll see what happens there. But I think off the top of the head, that's what it is. They probably also need to go find a cornerback now that Can Lee, who they wanted to bring in to maybe be their starting nickel, has committed to Tennessee. But it's a lot of moving parts and a lot of – Ryan Day doesn't like this stuff to be public, and I think what we have seen around the country is why he doesn't want any of this stuff to be public. I mean, just look at what's going on there with Damon Williams. And so there's a lot going on behind the scenes. So even if it doesn't seem like Ohio State has been active and aggressive in trying to get guys in the portal, they have been significantly active and aggressive in finding pieces that they feel like fit with what they already have coming back in 2026.
So coming out of the last 2 games, there's just been a lot of chatter about what happened down there amongst the offensive linemen, right? And how those guys weren't able to consistently do what they needed to do against Indiana and Miami. Looking around the corner to next year under Coach Bowen's watch, and the guys that are currently in that room, where are you at with that? I know this is months away, but do you have confidence that that's a coach and that's a unit that will have things in order more so than what we've seen over the last few quarters?
I'll say that I think they're going to have a lot of experience and a lot of options to choose from because Luke Montgomery's coming back, because Austin Saraveld's coming back, Josh Padilla is coming back, Philip Daniels is coming back. We'll see what Carson Hinsman decides to do in terms of his NFL draft decision there. We got to see a little bit of Gabe Van Sickle. We got to see Ian Moore in the college football playoff, and I thought he actually kind of held his own when he had to step in there for Austin Saravel. So there's going to be some options, but I do think that Tyler Bowen and Ryan Day and whoever the offensive coordinator is and the rest of that coaching staff is going to have to take a hard look at that offensive line. Because I don't know if you have room for a portal guy. This might just be what you have because it's already kind of a full room. They might need to rearrange some things, right? I think last year it was good until it wasn't. And you can't run into that idea again of you think your offensive line is fine. They've only given up 6 sacks all season, and then you give up 10 sacks in your last 2 games, right? So does that mean Austin Sarabel moves back in the guard and Ian Moore's your starting left tackle? Does it mean that Carter Lowe, as a highly rated second-year guy, takes a step and now he's one of your starters? Is it Luke Montgomery at center? Is it Josh Padilla at center? Is it Gabe Bensickle here or there? But I think they can't leave this off season without overturning every possible stone because that was good. It wasn't enough. And a defensive line play is not going to get worse in college football over the next 12 months.
All right, I want to ask a quick follow-up. You mentioned the process with a new offensive coordinator. Are you convinced that Ryan Day is going to hire an offensive coordinator? Is it coming from inside, or could we see him with the play sheet in his hand this fall?
I think that would be a step backwards if he is calling plays. I think he's a great play caller. It's just there's too much happening in college sports at this point for that to be in any way his focus. And I think there are some great offensive minds. I think we all respect some of the minds that have come out of that offensive room, whether it's Ryan Day, whether it's Brian Hartline, whether it's Keenan Bailey, even Billy Fester. I think there are a lot of guys who have bright futures. But I do think, just to use the 2016 Ohio State football team as an example here, things can get stale when there are too many people in the room who think alike. And I think 7 years into this, there's a lot of people who have grown up under the Ryan Day way of thinking, and I think we've reached a point, just like they did in 2016, where you get shut out by Clemson in the college football playoff. What did Urban Meyer go do? He went and got Kevin Wilson and Ryan Day. And we've seen what's happened over the last decade because Urban Meyer made that decision. I think that's where Ryan Day is at this point. And to be honest, he tried to do it, right? He brought in Bill O'Brien, who had started looking at some stuff and going, I don't like this, I don't like this, I like this. What if we do this, but we do it a different way? Unfortunately, the Boston College job came open, so he left. So he went right back to comfort zone, and it worked. But Chip Kelly and Ryan Day, I mean, that's the most like football father-son relationship that you can get, right? And so I think this has reached the point where it needs to be an outside guy who can bring fresh perspectives, which because they've already hired a wide receiver coach in Cortez Hankton, and it doesn't sound like they're losing any other assistants. Obviously, yes, there's some negotiations and stuff going on with Matt Patricia, but in terms of offensive assistants, it doesn't seem like they're going to lose anybody else. Ryan Day might have to get creative, and because of some of the new coaching rules where we can have more people working with the players, maybe your OC is like your DC where he's the head coach of the offense. He doesn't necessarily have a position group. He's not being brought in to recruit. He is here to scheme. He is here to do what Jim Knowles did for the defense for 3 years.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a great breakdown of everything Ohio State from our guy, Stephen Means from Cleveland.com. As always, Stephen, we appreciate you, man, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you. Stephen joined us via the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Coming up next, a former Buckeye football player and Stephen A. Smith going back and forth. We'll tell you why next. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-691-9999. That's 800-691-9999.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app.
Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Check out this deal on fresh Tyson natural chicken. Select varieties are on sale now. Buy one, get one free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Because there are often no early symptoms, nearly half of those with glaucoma may not even know they have it until vision loss has occurred.
I was diagnosed with normal tension glaucoma in July of 2020. And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. And you think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a Bright Focus Foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
Statistics show that roughly 20 veterans die by suicide every day in the United States. Canines for Warriors is the leading nonprofit organization providing highly trained service dogs to veterans with PTSD and other invisible wounds of war. Backed by scientific research, Canines for Warriors has transformed the lives of more than 1,000 veterans, helping them reclaim their independence. To find out more, please visit caninesforwarriors.org.
Do you hate holiday pictures because of your teeth?
What if a brand new smile was possible?
No matter what the current state of your mouth.
Welcome to Runyon Dental Group, home of the Implant and Smile Center,
where gorgeous, healthy smiles become a reality.
At Runyon, we've built a team of some of the most highly trained arch and implant doctors in the entire nation. This isn't an ordinary dental practice.
We believe that everyone can have a great smile,
including you, especially you. Your new smile is waiting at Runyon Dental Group.
What does it mean to live here, serve here in the Ohio Army National Guard?
It means I can attend college full-time and not have to take out student loans to pay for my tuition.
It means I can work my civilian job during the week and support my state and nation in times of need.
You too can live here, serve here as a member of the Ohio Army National Guard. Learn more about part-time service with full-time benefits at nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard in coordination with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them. Safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together, all of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
Common Man and Timmy.
You like a sleeper?
No, a sleeper's no good.
No good.
Sleeper sucks. You ever try to actually sleep on one of those?
That's no, get the bar.
Mess you up.
Common Man and Timmy Afternoons on the Fan is sponsored by the Hinderer Motor Company.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, the Fan. Anthony used to ski in his jeans? Are you serious? No, he's not from New Jersey. Back to Rothman and Ice.
Welcome back in, folks. Joshua Perry, the former Buckeye and national champ, in the house today for AR. I'm Matty Ice, TLC on the board doing his thing. Garrett Wilson in the New York Jets. It's been tough sledding for Garrett Wilson since he came into the NFL. The Jets are now in another spot to where, JP, they're looking for the most important position again. Tried to hand the keys to the former Buckeye Justin Fields. That did not work.
Yikes.
And so he's, I think, in a situation now because of his age and the athleticism, like he'll be attached to NFL teams, but it may take a while again for him to grab a hold of the steering wheel and be the leader of the ship. It's not completely over yet because we've seen, the Sam Darnolds of the world, the Bakers of the world. It looks like maybe even a guy like Mac Jones might get an opportunity this year.
But he needs to get with a coach like the guys that those guys got with.
Yeah, because
that's the problem.
It seems like it's like a is it a fundamental thing with him? Because the skills are there.
Well, I also think he has gotten to a point where the confidence can't be high, and so he's probably out there second guessing. But when you're with a coach defensive Matt Eberflus, like it's never that's not going to happen. And then Aaron Glenn, love the dude. Like, what does he know about getting a quarterback right? You know, get him with a KOC, get him with a LaFleur type, get him out there with the Shanahan. Like, that's what he needs to be around.
You might be onto something with that KOC call up there in Minnesota, because I do think they're going to bring in somebody to heat up J.J. McCarthy just a little bit. But Garrett Wilson was in the news yesterday because on First Take, Stephen A. Smith, the topic was whether or not Dante Moore should come out and should he avoid, if he can, the New York Jets. And here's yesterday's take, and then we'll have the response from Garrett Wilson and then Stephen A.'s response back to Garrett Wilson here in a second.
Let me say this, and I'm damn near serious about this. I'd eat something to provoke myself to have food poisoning where I'm like garbage before I play for the Jets. I'm telling you right now, whatever I could do to be alive and be okay in the end, but to ruin their thoughts of ever wanting me on their roster, I would do. And damn it, I'd go back to college before I play for the Jets. They are a football atrocity. They are awful.
So there's that from Stephen A. Garrett Wilson hears that clip, takes to social media and says, damn, you got to be a real sellout. And above all, a square to be on ESPN nowadays. Used to love that show. Where are you at with this back and forth before we hear from Stephen A. and his retort back to Garrett Wilson this morning?
I watch First Take almost every day. I am, and not because I necessarily think they have smart takes. I love Stephen A. I think what he does every day is difficult. To go on TV every day and have to be interesting and have to get aggregated and be viral is difficult, and he does it. I also like to hear what they're talking about up there just to, see what the world is on. But I also don't think he's wrong with this take. And if I'm Garrett, I'm going to be mad about it. Because I want a good quarterback. Like, I'm going to be mad about that. Right. Why the hell would a quarterback want to go to New York? Why? Like, is there anything that says that's the place where I know my career is going to flourish? No. There is nothing in the last 20 years that really says, like, oh, yeah, this is a place where I feel like I'm going to become a superstar at the quarterback position.
You're right. And like you said, from Garrett's perspective, since he came into the league a few years ago, it's been Zach Wilson, Mike White, Joe Flacco, Trevor Siemian, Aaron Rodgers, Tyrod Taylor, Brady Cook, and Justin Fields. Jeez. All quarterbacks that have started games for the Jets since Garrett Wilson came into the league. So we read you the tweet from Garrett Wilson yesterday. Obviously, Stephen A. was going to respond this morning, and here's what he had to say.
Where the camera at? Right here. Did I stutter? The Jets are horrible. Couple things, my brother. Garrett Wilson, you're a good brother, my man. And I don't blame you for feeling salty about what I said. I wasn't talking about you. I was pleading for you to get help. Meaning the kind of help Sauce Gardner got when they sent him to Indy. Meaning the kind of help when Williams got when they sent him to Dallas. Since Woody Johnson returned from his role as U.S. ambassador, right prior to the 2021 season, the New York Jets are the worst team in the National Football League. 26-59. Are you ready for this, RC? Mm-hmm. They've been outscored by 570 points. 570 points!
Oh, man. It is hard to agree with a lot of the things he's saying about that franchise.
He's not wrong, though.
He's acknowledging how good Garrett Wilson is, which we all see, and he is one of those guys to where
he is.
I felt like over the last few years, he and Chris Olave have been put in a tough spot because we know how talented those guys are.
I know.
And maybe things will change with Tyler Shuck down there in New Orleans. He showed a little bit. But Garrett Wilson, that's just what he needs to showcase his skill set, because I think he is ready to blow up if they can find the guy. But that's, as you know, the hardest if in that sport is finding a franchise quarterback.
Here's the reality of it is I don't think the franchise quarterback for the Jets, I don't think the franchise quarterback for the Cleveland Browns is in this draft.
Ooh.
Fernando Mendoza, love him as a college player. He has some stuff to his game that makes me worry a little bit.
Okay, stay there, JP.
We'll stay there.
We're going to extend this conversation after the break because Dan Orlovsky had a bit of a spicy take about this quarterback class, And Arch Manning is involved in this. Don't miss the sound next with Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here at The Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
Hey, Central Ohio, it's Andrew from Home Team Solutions. And yes, we buy houses for cash the easy way. We've been buying houses for over 20 years, and we've seen it all. Whether you've inherited a property, you're behind on payments, the house needs work, or just want to avoid the hassle of listing, we've got you covered. No repairs, no clean out, no stress, just a fair cash offer and you pick the closing date. We've helped hundreds of homeowners sell fast and hassle-free, and we're proud to have 5-star reviews all across Central Ohio and an A+ rating with the BBB. If you're ready to sell your house the easy way, call Home Team Solutions at 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355, or visit us online at selltohometeam.com. Home Team Solutions, local, trusted, and family-owned. Again, that's 614-962-SELL. 614-962-7355 or selltohometeam.com.
This weekend, the Ohio RV and Boat Show, brought to you in part by Ohio Credit Union, is back and bigger than ever at the Ohio Expo Center. Whether it's your first adventure or you're a seasoned outdoor enthusiast, this show has it all. One ticket gets you into all 3 buildings so you can see the latest in RVs, boats, motorcycles, ATVs, golf carts, and more. From towables to drivers, jet skis to pontoons, and more. It's all here. The Ohio RV and Boat Show at the Ohio Expo Center, January 9th through 18th. Get details and tickets at OhioRVandBoatShow.com.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this. Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose, so you could turn that $200 into something bigger when you bet on money lines, spreads, totals, or player props.
$200 in bonus bets when new customers bet just $5. It's the only betting app I use. Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply. In-app only.
It's 2026, the year you achieve your health goals. The Good Feet store wants to help. Trade in your bad feet for good feet. We want to help you walk, run, exercise, and play in comfort this year. Visit the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road at Grove City.
It's been a real journey since 2014 when I first had my injury. I realized that my home was just not working for me and that it was time to ask for help. Homes for Our Troops is really giving me my life back. The shower allows me to go in and turn around with my chair, pull down storage racks, automated door systems, hours of my morning given back to me. Adaptive sports are a huge part of my life, a huge part of my healing journey as well. Homes for Our Troops helped with making sure that I had a home gym so that I can continue to train. This past year, I was able to host Thanksgiving in my home. And it was the first time I was able to have my whole family in one place and I was able to contribute to the meal. There are a lot more veterans in need, and Homes for Our Troops is going to be there to help them too.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
Hey there, Jane Lynch here. You want to hear something funny? Too bad. You want to hear something uplifting that will inspire you? Good. Because today, I want to talk to you about Direct Relief, a humanitarian organization that does seriously good work when it counts. Fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. When disaster strikes, Direct Relief immediately shows up with medicines, medical supplies, and everything doctors and nurses need to save lives. Let's ship her out! Every day across the United States and around the world, they're making an enormous difference. If someone needs help, Direct Relief helps. No politics, no red tape. Hey, what you doing over there?
Oh, I'm packing insulin for kids with diabetes.
See, every box here is literally a lifeline for someone in critical need. So check them out at directrelief.org. You might just bring a smile to someone's face.
My name is DeMar Hamlin. I play for the Buffalo Bills, and I play safety. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as a national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers through CPR education and access to AEDs. Nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. There are now 8 NFL teams looking for a new head coach. The Miami Dolphins, the latest to make a move, firing Mike McDaniel this morning. The Ohio State with an addition from the transfer portal today. Wisconsin linebacker Christian Allegro has committed to the Buckeyes. Safety Keenan Nelson Jr., though, is entering the portal and leaving Columbus after 2 seasons. The Ohio State men's basketball team out on the West Coast tonight, taking on Oregon at 10:30. The Bucks will be without forward Brandon Knoll, who's going to miss some time with a foot injury. He suffered that in the loss to Nebraska on Monday. Brandon Beam in the Fan warm-up show gets underway at 9:30 tonight here on the Fan. Late night hockey as well this evening. The Blue Jackets continue in a 4-game West Coast trip against the Vegas Knights. Yesterday, the team placed Mason Marchman on IR with an upper body injury and recalled Mikhail Putia from Cleveland. Puck drop in Vegas is at 10.
Matty is a diehard Reds fan. I mean, where else is he going to go? You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Welcome back in. Happy Thursday to you. Joshua Perry in the building today for AR. Bottom of the hour. Dan Dawkins joins us. Talk all things college basketball. Get a feel on the Signetti movement over there at Indy. All the NIL money that they're coming up with out of nowhere. Maybe not out of nowhere. It's right in front of our face based off of who some of the billionaires are that are attached to that university.
Got some money.
Yeah, they do. They got some money. And, you know, Stephen Means mentioned it earlier. Uncle Phil Knight over there at Oregon, Texas Tech.
Well,
it's crazy.
The oil guy.
Yeah.
And one of our billionaires is about to be deposed. You know, they're calling about some files. So I don't, you know, like what are we doing?
It's tough, man. But yeah, the Texas Tech thing is wild. And look, Texas Tech had the highest priced portal class.
Yeah.
Didn't really amount to much this year.
No.
Good year for them.
Well,
so it's
they didn't buy a quarterback. That was part of the problem.
Because I always say, JP, if your team, like, you know, the team graphic before the game comes up and they're saying it's this team for this versus this team. If your team, the face of your team's a linebacker, which Texas Tech was with Rodriguez.
Now, what's wrong with the linebacker?
I'm just saying your team's ceiling probably isn't as high.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree
about that. But you know, like the NFL, sometimes when there's some injuries and they're throwing up like the star receiver or defensive player,
is the Justin Jefferson as the guy, but nobody had thrown the damn ball. Like, all right, bro.
Like Myles Garrett repping for the Browns.
Well,
you know, like, hey, I'm in. How'd you, real quick, I mean, the whole sack thing, are you in on, like, the record is the record, or, you know, because he did it in so amount of games, you knock it? Like, where are you at with
the people brought up a great point. He did it in fewer snaps. So I'm here for it.
Okay, end of the conversation.
That's it.
There it is. Look, you're talking to or looking at in there a Steelers guy.
Of course.
So he's repping his guy, TJ Watt, who is in his own right is a Hall of Fame talent. And so I think he disagrees just a little bit here.
Sounds like Myles Garrett's not very good and has some competition. Can't see the field very much.
Wow.
I don't know.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
That was interesting.
Welcome to the TLC experiment.
I love it.
This is what experience. This is what we get every day.
This is one of my guys, right?
I've heard about this.
Yeah.
Now, for the folks that don't know,
6 degrees of separation.
Fill me in and fill the folks in on what you're talking about.
Okay, so his cousin is one of my best friends. I was in her wedding. Her husband is one of my best friends. So we've been connected here for a little while.
There it is.
Yeah.
Small world, man.
So my cousin's from South Florida.
Yeah.
She was an All-American high school lacrosse player and actually came up to Ohio State.
Nice.
And where she met her now husband, who was a walk-on on the football team in the same defense as him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Tyvus.
Yeah.
For that matter.
Yeah.
I love that type of stuff. I'm here for that. TLC's well connected.
He is.
Brothers over there are, you know, part of the staff for Buckeye basketball.
It's part of the staff.
Well, is he not?
He's a manager.
It's part of the staff.
They're very well connected out in the world too. You don't mess with them.
No.
That's why I'm glad I'm in with the family.
They'll send those all black trucks to your house if you mess around.
I don't know people, but I know people who know people.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Cousins on the staff for the Arizona Cardinals.
Sure.
By the way, have you talked to him? How are things going right now?
No. All right. So we're trying to figure out who his coaching connections are who may get hired.
Yeah.
So I'm rooting for Patrick Graham. I'm rooting for Chris Shula. I got some names.
Okay.
I'm rooting for Jonathan Gannon elsewhere.
Right.
So his cousin's husband
Yes.
is on the staff at Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Don't mess with TLC.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't mess with TLC.
Got to get in good with
sure.
the family.
So looking at this quarterback draft class that you were kind of touching on before we went to break, and I want to hear that take for sure. It just feels like, JP, that we're looking at Fernando Mendoza.
We're looking at a hot pack of ass.
And Ty Simpson, who came out yesterday and said,
I was rolling on that.
I am going to the NFL. We don't know what Dante Moore is going to do just yet. So we'll unpack all of that. Before we get to that, I want you to hear this take from Dan Orlovsky from ESPN.
Okay.
Because he is now bringing into focus.
From Dan Patrick Show.
From the Dan Patrick Show. Thank you, TLC. He's bringing back into focus Arch Manning. And here's what he had to say.
If Arch Manning was in this year's draft, number 1 overall.
Not even close. Not even close. Not even close. He'd be the runaway number 1 pick. Arch Manning is kind of like the throwback 1970 quarterback with modern day training and nutrition. I'm a huge fan of this guy. He's physically remarkably gifted. He's intelligent when it comes to the football understanding of speed and space, all that. I think he's wired the right way. When you watch him on a sideline, he's ultra competitive. I think he's weathered a lot. He's going into the NFL, or when he does, he's going to have weathered so many different storms. And we know that's a huge deal. So many different finger pointings and adversity and hype and falling short and getting punched and getting back up. You got to have that skill. You have to have that trait to be elite outside of the physical things. And so, yeah, he would be number 1 runaway.
He's also only played 1 season.
Yeah.
This is
and weathered
insane.
A lot of storms. What? Because
his own fault, because he stunk.
Well, and he sat behind Quinn Ewers and made good money doing so. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, I don't understand what he's talking about there with the weathering and storms.
So the biggest part I take exception with, outside of he would be number 1, that's just not the case, is he's a throwback 1970s, so he can't throw the damn ball, is what you're trying to tell me. Because I'm not a historian, but I'm not exactly sure it was like
that wasn't their era. That's not what they did there.
The yard. So the thing that I've learned from being around NFL people, when I got to NBC, I got to meet all the people who do football night and stuff. Folks in the NFL, media and front offices, like everybody, they're scared of the Manning family. That Manning family is like a mini NFL mafia. You can't talk badly about them. You can't say anything bad about Peyton. Can't say anything bad about Eli. Both those guys are in all the commercials. They're doing all the different shows. I think part of that is because they're trying to put together this little Hall of Fame thing so they're recognizable and like, don't forget about me. But now you can't talk bad about Arch. And so all year long, it was all these people who were more NFL adjacent than people that were strictly college football people that defended the hell out of this guy when he wasn't even playing well at all.
Yeah.
And so this is how you get one of those takes. He's not even close to being the top quarterback, or else he would have declared.
Correct. And so I think, too, what can happen is you can be the number 1 guy in your class and still not be ready in the NFL, which is to go to the NFL, which is fine. But I think based off of what you said and what we watched this year, needs a little bit more seasoning. And that's okay, because you can watch Arch and see some of the things that Dan Orlovsky's talking about.
No doubt.
Nobody's saying the guy's a bum. He's definitely got a good skill set. He definitely has some athleticism that can hurt defenses in spots. But what he was supposed to be was this, no doubt, the next coming of what Andrew Luck was coming out of college, what Trevor Lawrence was coming out of college. And he fell short of that, but he's got time, and I think it's a smart move to go back to Austin and reset a little bit.
They set this narrative, the family did, that they wanted Arch to sit behind Quinn Ewers for as long as he did. And then we saw Quinn Ewers become a 7th-round pick, and then we saw Arch Manning play this year, and we understood why. That was not a choice. It wasn't a choice. And he got better. And I think he was a little bit banged up during the year, and they didn't want to say anything about it. He didn't look right. By the end of the year, he looked better. He didn't look like the number 1 overall pick to me.
No, I agree. The Dante Moore situation, is he ready?
I think he should take another year in school. His highs are extremely high, but there was a part of the season where he faded.
Yeah.
He wasn't all that productive. The games just didn't look that great out of him. Listen, he reminds me of C.J. Stroud in a lot of ways, where he's got a just natural release, great pace on the football. He can hit the deep ball. He's athletic enough to run, but doesn't like to run, right? These are the things in his game that stand out to me. But I think when the bullets are really flying, that's where you start to see that maybe he needs a little bit more time to develop his game. When he's under duress, he starts to fade a little bit. He's got to get that right.
You mentioned the part about maybe not wanting to run as much, and it took some time for CJ. I mean, we saw it in that Georgia game, right, on New Year's Eve a few years ago. It was like, oh, my goodness, where has this been? That's the type of dude that could be an absolute difference maker, not only at this level, but in the NFL. And he's off to a good start in the NFL with the career that he's already putting together. Do you think a lot of that, JP, is because guys have always done it that way, meaning they haven't had to do it, so it's not in their football DNA to go about it when you're asking those guys? 'Cause we see these quarterbacks, right? And it's like, go get that with your legs, and they're just not doing it. What is the reason why that doesn't happen soon enough for some of these guys?
I think a lot of these quarterbacks are convinced, and I don't blame them. I think one of the worst tags that you can get is being a running quarterback. Because I don't think the NFL really likes those guys. I still don't think they've adapted very well to them. And it takes a little while for people to build trust in the fact that you can win games on your arm. So I think a lot of young dudes want to be quarterbacks. And so they do things like they don't run. They do things like taking sacks instead of throwing the football away because they're worried about their completion percentage. Watching younger quarterbacks rise up right now is a little bit of it's a roller coaster because you see so many good things, but they're so obsessed with these things that they think will make them great draftable quarterbacks. Sometimes they lose the plot.
And it doesn't have to be much as far as massive yards go per game.
Stay on schedule. Do what Carson Beck did.
Correct. Like situational running right from the quarterback spot. And I think who's really good at that in the NFL is Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like Mahomes this year had to put the run game on his back because Pacheco and those guys were out of sight, out of mind and weren't providing that punch. But he is just a killer when you're going up against him of just picking up that 3rd and 4, that 3rd and 3.
You know who was great at that? Still not as good, but still does it. Aaron Rodgers is that guy. Like nobody would ever try to say that he's a running quarterback. But when he needed to use his legs, he was going to get some yards.
He brought it home. And so I always say, like, baked into 25 yards rushing from your quarterback.
Right.
There's 3 to 4 first downs.
100%.
In that right there, that's the job of a quarterback.
Yeah,
that's moving
there's
the chains.
a 3rd and short now in there.
Correct.
Because instead of taking a sack, they went and got some yards.
It's big time stuff. Coming up in our next segment, second hour, every week we do, usually on Wednesday, but we got bumped because of the Diebler show. We'll bump ins and outs to our next segment. TLC will take over right after the break. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and common man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman here for Germain Honda of Dublin. So what's the difference? There are other Honda dealers around. Well, Rich Newsom and his team want to earn your trust. They don't expect it, and they earn it by giving you a great price, and then they back it up after the sale with same-day service, no appointment necessary, a great variety of brand-new Hondas, and hundreds of pre-owned certified Hondas to choose from, all at the same location. Identify yours at GermainHondaofDublin.com. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic, made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing. Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-691-9999. That's 800-691-9999.
If your garage door has been around since dinosaurs first started escaping theme parks, we are Deluxe Door Systems. For over 30 years, we've been transforming the look of people's homes with beautiful Clopay doors for less than you think. DeluxeDoorSystems.com.
I always tell people I was the luckiest guy in the world. I wanted to be an Army man or a fireman, and I got to do both. As a firefighter, my job was about saving lives. I never thought one day I would be fighting for mine.
After spending his career answering the call to save others, Ken was diagnosed with ALS. Now he's facing his biggest battle, for more time. For 70 years, Muscular Dystrophy Association has been answering the call to help people live longer and more independent lives.
MDA means to me hope.
MDA is leading the way for people living with ALS, muscular dystrophy, and other neuromuscular diseases by accelerating research, advancing care, and advocating to empower families like Ken's.
I wouldn't be living as good of a life with ALS if it wasn't for MDA. MDA is helping people live stronger and love longer. Learn more at mda.org today.
Day one, the hardest day. The day you hear,
this is a type of blood cancer.
At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day one. To learn more and get help on any day, visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572.
It's easy to think of winter as a time when not much is happening in the landscape or in the pest and disease world. However, there are a couple of services that can help your trees and shrubs during the colder months, like horticultural oil and anti-desiccant applications. Visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org to learn more and to find an ISA-certified arborist in your area who is trained and has the proper equipment to perform your tree work safely.
Flexible, secure, fun. Oh, and great pay, too. Are you not sure what you want to do for a career? Or are you thinking of changing careers? Being a dental hygienist or dental assistant may be the perfect fit for you and provides all of these perks plus more. Talk with a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org to learn more. Become a valuable member of the dental team and start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
When you're listening to T-Bone and Tyvis, all the F words apply. Football, food, and fun, and fat, and furry. They both have beards. And they dress up like animals and hump things. T-Bone and Tyvis.
Weekday mornings at 6.
The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Could see some patchy lingering fog today, otherwise mostly cloudy and mild with highs in the mid to upper 50s. For tonight, lows in the upper 40s to low 50s, gusty winds, and we'll see showers developing going toward daybreak on Friday. For Friday, we could see scattered showers and even isolated thunderstorms. It will be significantly warmer and breezy with highs in the mid to low 60s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present In or Out.
Just a little of the old in and out.
All right, welcome back in, folks. Joshua Perry in the house today. TLC, it's time for you to take over. What do you have cooked up in ins and outs this week, my man?
All right. First of all, I saw a tweet from Kyle Hamilton, one of my favorite players.
Yeah, he's a beast. Mm-hmm. He's a beast, man.
He tweeted out earlier this morning, growing up in the South, SEC football was king. I didn't even know how much people cared about NFL football until I got to Baltimore. It's crazy and commendable to me. Like, wow, they are really diehard NFL fans. Changed my whole perspective. Props to y'all. So he's giving some credit to the Ravens fans for showing him what real NFL fandom looks like. Would you like to take a wild guess which small town in the South Kyle Hamilton grew up in?
Atlanta, Georgia.
That's exactly right.
He's from the A.
So Falcons is right there.
Yeah. So are you in or out on Falcons fans should be insulted by this?
I'm trying to think. So when he was growing up, he caught definitely the Matt Ryan window. Yeah. Right, those guys.
Vic probably went away by then, though.
Vic was probably gone. There was definitely he had to catch some of that vibe, though. Because they were obviously really good during both windows of time, so I'm surprised that he wouldn't feel like Atlanta, his hometown.
I mean, this also was previous to the Georgia Renaissance and heyday too, right?
True.
So, true. If I was an Atlanta fan, I'd be a little miffed.
Yeah, for sure. Because I love those Matt Ryan and was it Roddy White, the receiver, and they had a running back that was really good that I'm forgetting. But they were a fun watch for sure until they let that Super Bowl slip away. 28-3.
So he's 2 years younger than me, and he spent like his early days in his childhood moving around because his dad was playing basketball in a bunch of different countries.
Okay.
And so by the time, let's see, Michael Vick would have happened, he would have gotten sent to jail in like 07, 08.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I would have been 8 or 9 years old.
Okay.
And so for him, he moved back to Georgia. Michael Vick would have been done, so it would have been Matt Ryan.
I mean,
so they played in a Super Bowl when he was in high school.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd be a little miffed.
Yeah, it's a surprising take from him.
Yeah.
Hell of a player, though, man. Like, that dude is...
I tried to tell people about him pre-draft the year. I'm like, he is the guy.
Yeah, I was happy that he slid to Baltimore because he's right out of the gate, Pro Bowl, All-Pro.
He should have never made it that far.
No,
you had
never.
a good draft that year because you got Linderbaum that year,
no
too.
doubt, who is he's up for a contract, and that could get a little dicey because some teams are going to try to poach him, so I'm worried about
he can
that.
ball, too.
Yeah, he's a dude.
Hey, your fan base, from what I see on Twitter, is not very fond of that Fa'alele guy.
Yeah, no, he's got to go. He's got to go because it's just so glaring.
Was that the Minnesota kid?
Yes.
Yeah, he was like 6'9", 380 or something.
Listen, I looked at him. His ankles were too thick for me to want to take a chance on that in the league.
Too many times where I'm seeing the back of Lamar's jerseys when he's running the other way because it's just a turnstile down there. And so, yeah, that it's critical all season. Look, Ravens, new head coach, arguably best center in the sports, up for a deal. Like, they got to really figure some things out. And do you want to pay Zay Flowers or not? So, yeah, big time.
You hit a home run on Rosengarten, though. He's amazing.
Yes. I love our GM, Eric DaCosta. Done a good job. But Ozzie Newsome dropped us off with the best gift, which was Lamar.
Yeah.
Train back into the first round. I'm retiring after that. See you.
We'll get a little bit more into the coaching carousel in the NFL later, but as far as it pertains to this segment, Matt Nagy already has 4 interviews scheduled. Raheem Morris has 3 interviews, so does Stefanski, and Robert Saleh has 1, but another team is asking for 1. So, are you in or out on forgiving previously failed head coaches and giving them a second chance? And how much time needs to go by before you're willing to give them that second chance?
I'm generally out, but there are some parameters. If you failed 2 or more times, I don't want to see you again with the whistle around your neck as a head coach.
Ever again?
Ever again.
Okay.
If you were so miserable your first time around, I don't care to see the second time. I feel like there's so many good coaches that are coming up and through, and people just like to go back to where they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And I think that's a flaw for many organizations, is going with the known comfortable commodity that has failed rather than rolling the dice on a guy who's an up-and-comer.
See, here's the thing. I think for me, like, I look at a guy like Robert Saleh, there's some intrigue there for me, just because we got done talking earlier about Garrett Wilson in that Jets window of time. How much winning are you going to do, right?
I agree with that.
And there was also the kind of, he and Aaron Rodgers not seeing eye to eye, and it seemed like that relationship was very open and honest the way you would probably want it to be.
Ownership was a thing, too. He was butting heads with them, and there was a whole political thing that was involved.
So I wouldn't mind him getting another crack at it, but I think what you're saying is true, right? Like, a lot of these guys, like Matt Nagy, I'm good on that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good on Matt Nagy, and I don't care about the Andy Reid rub and that and all. I just don't care about that.
I think it's also a red flag. Anybody who's ever been called a genius, and I'm referring to Matt Nagy here, big red flag for me. I don't like geniuses. Right. I need football guys. They're not geniuses.
Does Andy Reid call plays in Kansas City?
I believe he does.
What about coordinators? Is that like a slight on coordinators who don't call plays?
I don't think being a coordinator is a prereq for me to be a great head coach. It was John Harbaugh, the special teams guy.
Correct.
Right? Like, can you lead? Do you have the organizational skills to be successful? And the fact that you can call plays does not tell me that you have those skills.
And what you have to do, as you're alluding to with a guy like Harbs, is you better smash your coordinator hires. Right? And you look at where the Ravens are right now. He hired Zach Orr as his defensive coordinator a few years ago. Some people think it was a sympathetic hire because he played for Harbaugh, had the neck injury, which he had to retire after that. And look, he was on the staff, but he had never been a coordinator. And sometimes I think you got to go through that a little bit and level up to get to that position. So there's different ways to go about it. If you're a head coach, you can be the CEO guy. You can take over things like Ben Johnson and call the plays in Chicago.
Right.
There's really no wrong answer, but I just think certainly like a guy like Matt Nagy, I think he would be better suited as being a coordinator.
Yes.
And not a head coach.
Which is fine.
All right, I found yet another angle to defend Baker Mayfield. Easy for me because I'm not a Browns fan, so I didn't have to wear his losses. But Josh Grizzard is the name of the former offensive coordinator for the Buccaneers. I say former because he has now been fired, which means that entering year 9 for Baker Mayfield, he will have a 9th offensive coordinator in his career. So, are you in or out on the idea that Baker Mayfield wasn't given a chance to fully maximize his potential in the NFL?
I'm in on that. I think, especially with quarterbacks, and every player is a system player in my mind, but especially with quarterbacks, how you coach them, how you manage them on game day, how you call plays for them is so important. And I think you can stunt their growth almost immediately by having too many coordinators, by having a dysfunctional organization. I think Baker fell victim to a little bit of that.
Yeah.
The early parts of his career, especially.
No doubt about that. And now he is I still think he's in a really good spot, right? Ty Bowles has pressure on him to figure this thing out again. Liam Cohen was in your building. He is now a head coach elsewhere. But as far as talent goes that Baker has to work with, you'll take that all day and tomorrow, right? Yeah. With Emeka and Mike Evans. Yep. And we'll see if Chris Godwin can get back to what he was. He's had to fight through some injuries.
Right.
But the chemistry is there between the players themselves and what they want to accomplish. And so if I'm Baker, I'm good with where I'm at right now. I think his story is pretty cool, how he's being able to get off the mat from Cleveland and his other stops down in Tampa. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they can do down there. For sure, that division right now is an odd spot.
Weird.
It's in an odd spot. I still think the outlook for Tampa right now feels better to me than any other teams in that division, Saints, Carolina, and Atlanta.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. Saints feel like they might be able to figure some things out, but I'd certainly go with Tampa over there.
All right, I love Chris Russo and all of his quirks, although he may have slipped up a little bit with this one. So on his Mad Dog Radio Sirius XM show, he was trying to declare that Troy Aikman was supposed to be a guest on his show, but had to bail. So are you in or out on this being a good way to let the audience know that you had an interview scheduled and it is no longer taking place?
Troy Aikman has passed. As far as guest opportunities are concerned, they had some prior engagements. Troy Aikman has passed.
That gets in some shockwaves.
I'm in.
Through the sports business.
I'm in. Because the only reason I'm in is because it's Russo.
Oh,
he's another one of those people that and his baseball takes, I'm a baseball fan, are out of bounds ridiculously bad.
He's an all-timer in this business.
I respect the grind.
Listen, man, I've gone back and watched some of his old clips from his old radio days in New York and some of the Yankee takes where he was just absolutely on his way to the top. That dude was absolutely relentless. But, yeah, the wording in that is dicey, but I think
Troy Aikman has passed.
After passed, he kind of picks it up quick enough to where there isn't enough pause in there.
I'm fine.
He had that moment with the heart drop.
Right.
Only because it's him.
Speaking of Troy Aikman, fellas, wasn't there something out there that he is doing some business with an NFL team right now?
He's helping the Dolphins find their GM.
The general manager search.
Okay.
Which I don't like these guys doing both jobs. I don't think you can be in media and also, and the consulting with the team isn't as bad. But we're getting too close here.
Yeah, that's a little too close to the fire for me. Like, obviously, we're not in season or anything like that, but is he going to help them out the entire offseason with the draft and all that stuff?
They're probably calling him anyway.
He doesn't need the money.
This is the thing about rich people. They never need the money, but they just like having it.
That's true, man. That's absolutely true. And look, good for him and Joe.
I agree.
Left Fox, getting all that big-time money over there at ESPN.
Get your cheddar cheese up.
Man, they do a good job. They do a good job on the call. Got time for one more, TLC. What do you got?
I don't know how to make this one quick because it's kind of a whole ordeal. But just so you know, DeMond Williams Jr., his representation has dropped him.
Okay, so the backstory on that is DeMond Williams Jr. and his former head coach, Jed Fish, were repped by the same agent at Wasserman. So that feels a little dicey because you just signed the NIL deal. 2 days later, you're like, nah, I got tampered with, I'm out. And the guy who's supposed to be repping you on this new deal is the dude who's repping your head coach that you just said, no, I'm cool.
This is strange, JP, because Thamel reported he's going into the portal with a no contact tag, which means
might not even go into the portal. He might just go around the portal because they won't even put him in there.
Okay. And we've got former Washington head coach Rick Neuheisel.
I'm going to ask him
at 2:30 today. So we'll absolutely ask him about that.
So if he just shows up on LSU's campus, can anyone say you're not playing?
That's what the kid from Wisconsin did. A kid from Wisconsin went down to Miami and didn't get in the portal. He unenrolled from Wisconsin and enrolled at Miami. Just circumvented the portal.
Unreal. Coming up in 2 minutes, Dan Dockich joins us to talk about Ohio State basketball and a lot more. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
Hey, Aaron, you know how it seems like everything just moves faster nowadays?
You mean like technology and all those crazy inventions?
Well, our furnace repair buyback program means you can slow down and take your time deciding what to do.
Get Eco.
We act fast so you can plan slowly.
You're right, Jerry. If your furnace fails in the dead of winter, call us. We'll be right there to fix it the day you call.
Boom. We're there. It's fixed.
Get Eco.
But our repair buyback means you still have time to think it over in the warmth and comfort of your toasty warm home.
And if you decide you'd rather replace that old clunker, instead of fixing it every year, we'll credit the money you spent on repairs against the purchase of a brand new furnace, up to $1,500.
We act fast so you can plan slowly.
How long have you been working on that line?
Good poetry takes time, Aaron.
Get Eco.
ECO. GetEco.com.
Fall is the season of change, and Hinderer Motor Company is turning over a new leaf with big savings. This is Justin Hinderer. Right now, any one of our participating locations is paying up to $3,500 over Kelley Blue Book value. That's right. Drive in your current vehicle and leaf with one of ours today. Don't wait. The leaves are falling and so are the prices. At Hinderer Motor Company, we love what moves you.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Rothman Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
True to his name, Matty Ice wears a winter coat in the middle of summer. He lives the gimmick, man. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, welcome back into Rothman and Ice. It's that time of year. It is that time of year, folks. We're going to start locking in on college basketball, and who better to get us right and get us ready for March than the one and only Dan Dockich. Double D, welcome back in. Happy New Year. How you feeling, my man?
Oh, are you kidding me? We had college hoops last night. I'm sad. My son's Illinois State team got beat. Indiana looks good. Michigan looks great. Purdue looks great. Let's go.
Yeah, man.
Let's go.
Let's go. You mentioned Indiana. I want to start with Indiana, but I want to start with their football team because you've been around Indiana for a very, very long time. You've seen the Peyton Manning era. You've been around Bob Knight. These guys are gods in that state. Are we on our way to Kirk Cignetti being one of those gods over there in Indiana?
You know, it's great that you asked it that way, and I'll tell you why. I'm listening to the Colts press conference, and the Colts general manager is the biggest fraud in sports. Like 9 years, and he thinks he can BS all of us. And here's what I've said, Ice. I've said, look, in Indiana, we were raised coaching-wise by Gene Cady, Bob Knight, Larry Brown, Tony Dungy. And they're all tough dudes, no BS dudes. Larry Brown, he was 2 feet tall, but he was a taskmaster. Dungy didn't swear, but everybody knew you don't cross him. Your ass will be cut the next day, and obviously Knight and Cady are Knight and Cady. Well, Cignetti's that. I mean, for us in Indiana, you know, Ohio, Woody Hayes, you know, Michigan, Bo Schembler, he's that. I mean, we love when some little sideline girl comes up to him and says, hey, coach, how are you going to play? And he's like, looks at her like she's the idiot that she is and says, we're going to attack. You know, his pregame interviews with these girls is the stuff that everybody in the state used to wake up on Sunday mornings to watch Bob Knight's TV show because he would just crush folks. So, yeah, Cignetti, you win a national championship in football at Indiana. Put a statue up now, and not at Indiana. Put a statue up downtown Indy, downtown Gary, downtown Evansville, downtown. Put it up everywhere. If you win a national championship in Indiana in football, for crying out loud.
It's insane what the man is doing, and it's for sure going to be a fun ride to see if he can continue that. As you know, no matter whether we're talking basketball or football, you got to have real support in the NIL category, and it sounds like over there, Double D, that they are getting that. So talk about that from your perspective, being around the program, the Mark Cubans of the world, and kind of what you're hearing as far as the financial component of this goes.
Well, a year ago, Mark Cuban's partner was a guy named Todd Wagner. And when Cuban ran out on a $10,000 bill at Motley's Pub that he and Wagner owned back in the 80s and went down to Dallas to start Broadcast.com, which he eventually sold. Those guys eventually sold for billions. That's how Cuban made his money. He was the hype PR guy. Todd Wagner, who's actually from my hometown, and my mom and him are good friends, or my mom and his mom are good friends. Todd made more money than Cuban. He's quiet. If you look him up in Forbes, they don't even come close to what that guy's made. Well, what Indiana did was they got Todd Wagner back involved, kind of a recluse. He's been around, but never out front like Cuban. So what you have at Indiana is two billionaires with a B, like $6 billion for Cuban. It's estimated that Wagner, I know Forbes says 1.9. No. So they got Wagner involved. So now you got two billionaires funding this. So if they don't get a recruit, okay, it ain't going to be because of money, Ice. I mean, it's not. They are so well funded. Look, think about this. You got a business school. Like I always said this about Bowling Green when I coached there. It's a teacher's college. So, teachers don't make that much money. They're the best people in the world. But they don't make that much money. My mom and dad are teachers. So it's not like you got a bunch of CEOs or Wagners or Cubans. So Indiana is known for its business school, Kelly School of Business. So they got all these guys, man. The Cook family is among the 20 richest families. So actually they have 3 billionaires helping fund this. That's why Indiana basketball is going to get really good because they got an adult there. The football program's not going anywhere. In this era, whether you like it or not, that's important. And Indiana has the NIL figured out really, really well.
No doubt. Double D, let's bring you back into our backyard here and lock in on Diebler and his Buckeye basketball team getting ready for Oregon tonight out there. Late night tip for us. Coming off a tough loss at home, had a chance to clip 10th ranked Nebraska, let that one slip away. What have you seen so far? A few games in the conference, or 2-2 right now, but just kind of the early, well, not really early anymore, but as we're gearing up for March, what have you thought about the product that Diebler and his crew are throwing out there on the floor?
All right. I think they're good. I think they're talented. I think they have guys. They have, experience, that kind of thing. But here's what I believe. I've always believed this. Big Ten is the best scouted league in the country. Okay, so you got to have guys that at the end of games, not first, end of games, they got to make players. Tom Moore, line coach, Hall of Fame line coach, used to say, end of games, it's players, not plays in football. Same thing in basketball. You've got to. You mentioned it. I watched that Nebraska game, and Nebraska, look, they're really connected and good, but Nebraska made plays down the stretch. So you got these guys. You got to make plays down the stretch. And that's Big Ten basketball. It's funny. I've said this for years, and a long time ago when I was a head coach at West Virginia, I was on a plane with assistant coach at Seton Hall, assistant coach at Syracuse, assistant coach, and I think it was Rutgers. I don't think Rutgers was in the league. And the guy at Syracuse asked, hey, you going to run that motion stuff Coach Knight does? I go, yeah, And they're like, well, we don't scout like the Big Ten does, so you're going to play against a lot of zone. I'm like, okay, well, the Big Ten scouts. But at the end of games, you've already played. So you've got to have guys that are going to go make free throws. Don't turn it over. You mentioned Signetti. Indiana does not make mistakes on the football field. Well, Ohio State makes too many mistakes late. And I'll give you a mistake that people don't believe. Missing an easy shot's a mistake late. Like people say, well, basketball, you're going to make some and miss them. No. You got to make them. I mean, let's be honest. Big Ten games, hell, we saw it the other night. Penn State, Michigan. Michigan's beating everybody by 40. Well, they win by 2 on the road at Penn State. Why? Because it's tough. You've got to be the guy that defensively stays in front of your man late. You got to be the guy that doesn't oh, man, I didn't quite get that rebound. No. You got to get – and that's what I see. That's going to be the difference in this team. They got enough experience. They got enough scoring. They got guys that can go make plays. There's no doubt. They got experience. But, honest to God, that's why Izzo's teams have always been good. Late in the game, they run their stuff, they make shots. I always say this. I got a national championship ring because Keith Smart hit a falling out of bounds jump shot. That's the reason I got a national championship ring. That's it.
Yep.
I mean, he misses, no national championship ring. So Ohio State's guys got to start doing that. Why'd they lose to West Virginia? Dude makes a late shot. Ohio State guys don't do that enough, in my opinion, late in games. And you can blame coaching, whatever you want. But they have enough experience, enough talent. They should close out games, and we'll see if they do.
Dan Dock is joining us here on the Fan via the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Gas Hotline. Dan, for the folks that have been knee-deep in football and still are right now, I think as they gear up for March Madness, what they're going to find is there's some really, really good freshmen playing in the sport right now, as you know. I mean, between Caleb Wilson, the guy at Arizona, there's just so many freshmen I've been watching recently that are just like, these dudes are for real. Talk about this class and what you think of these young guys so far.
Well, I think you're probably going to see – I'm no draft expert, but I got to imagine you're going to see the first 4 or 5 guys. That kid in Arizona, I forget his name right now, but I've watched him twice. Yeah. He looks like Pete. Yeah, he's a grown-ass man. That kid at BYU, I mean, I would take him first. I don't know him. Based on what I see on TV, like if I interviewed him and I thought he was a jackass or not about winning, but it doesn't seem to be that way. No, you mentioned the kid, and what's interesting to me is how these guys came out right out the gate. That Caleb Wilson kid, I forget who they beat at home. It was a massive game, like Kentucky, I don't know, somebody, and he's dropping 30. That Pete kid, first game out, nationally televised, he drops 30-some, goes to the free throw line and makes them all. This is a fantastic class. This is one of those, in an era where everybody wants to get old, the old thing, get old, stay old. This class has a chance, I think, to have the first 5 picks in the NBA draft. And again, I get it. The NBA is different. They draft on potential. But you got dudes out here that are just killing it. The 2 things that have kind of stunned me about college basketball at this point is, one, and this is bad to say on a Columbus radio station, but how good Michigan's been, beating teams by 40. And the other is how good these freshmen have been. I mean, they've become must-watch TV, frankly. That Pete kid, I swear to God, people want to argue, well, the 80s was better. My ass. Clark Kellogg was maybe the one guy that was built like some of these guys. Everybody else was, we thought we were big and strong, but these dudes are off the charts, strong, big, skilled, shoot it, drive it. Been in the weight room, been in high-pressure situations. It's pretty fun to watch, really.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Double D, we appreciate you as always, man. Have a great rest of the day and weekend. We'll talk to you soon, my man. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. See you guys.
See you, man. Dan Dockett right there. We'll talk to him every week about everything happening around the world of college basketball. We got a Buckeye Bulletin on deck coming up. A playmaker says he's returning. We'll tell you who that is after the break. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Winters can be brutal here in the Columbus area, and if you're cold in your home with the heat running constantly, it's probably your old, inefficient windows that are the problem. The good news is that Window Nation can help you get through this season because in the last 20 years, they've installed over 3 million energy-efficient windows nationally, and they're trusted by thousands of Columbus homeowners to keep their homes comfy and cozy year-round, while also saving them money on monthly utility bills. And right now, they're more affordable during the Window Nation Buy 4, Get 4 Windows free sale. It's a great time to replace all the windows in your home. Plus, you could get your windows with 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. You'll be surprised by the dramatic difference new windows will make. Your home will be better protected against the weather, feel warm and dry, and you'll love the lower utility bills. The pros at Window Nation will guide you every step of the way. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Save big with Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 sale going on now. The sale ends soon, so visit windownation.com right now. Window Nation, a proud partner of Ohio State Athletics.
Always still look at myself as a high-performing athlete, even at 40 years old, and so I want to go able to run and run fast and do things that I could 15 and 20 years ago, and it was getting to the point where the pain was starting to limit that.
Pain attacks people from all walks of life, not just former professional athletes like Bobby Carpenter. That's where QC Kinetics non-surgical treatment steps in.
And now that the pain is gone, I've been able to go and do the stuff that I love and run fast and run sprints and try to get back to where I was.
QC Kinetics regenerative treatments use your body's own healing properties to deliver long-term relief without surgery.
Now, being able to go and work out and do the stuff that I want to do and challenge my body, it's made me a better person, a more pleasant person to be around.
Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today. QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
My mom is a veteran and she was injured in the line of duty.
I hurt my leg in a training accident when she was only 2 years old.
She had 7 different surgeries over the span of 9 years, and there were tons of complications.
I couldn't be the mom my kids needed me to be.
She missed so much.
After my last surgery, I got an infection so bad I thought it was going to kill me.
I told her she couldn't leave me yet. There was still so much she had to see. I hadn't even graduated.
I'm doing much better now. I may have lost my leg, but I've gained so much. I'm an active part of my kids' lives.
She can kick a mean soccer ball.
DAV's been there for me and my family. Through thick and thin, they've had our back.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans like Sandy get the health and disability benefits they've earned so they can achieve victories great and small.
My victory is getting my life back. I got my joy back.
We got our mom back, thanks to DAV.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Playoffs? Yeah, we're watching the playoffs at the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Join me, Scotty Vegas, and Dave Biddle from On the Money Saturday, January 17th, starting at 4:30. The inflatable football toss will be out to show off your arm and win prizes. Watch and bet on the playoff games at the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus, where Michigan fans get pie in their face, and you won't find better value than the steak dinner. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
How many different ways can you consume morning juice? Let's see. Live on YouTube, live on the Fans HD3 podcast on demand, and on 10 TV Plus. And we'll send Bobby right to your house.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 8.
The Fan. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Window Nation. Buy 4 windows, get 4 free from windownation.com.
All right, let's get into it. Buckeye Bulletin time. Joshua Perry in the house today. Got some news that just came down, JP, within the last 30 minutes. Brandon Ennis has announced that he will return for his senior season. And so this is one of those guys I'm sure they're going to be looking at, Coach Day and the staff, and they're going to be ready to put even more on his plate. Because
I think he needs more on his plate.
Yeah, right, because now it's time now, right?
I think so. I mean, if we're grading the Brandon Ennis tenure and experience, I think it gets an average grade, right? Good, not great, reliable guy. Certainly there have been opportunities where he's been open, just ball doesn't come his way, right? He wants to be involved when it comes to blocking and all those things. I think that's fine. I'm going to need you to really step up on the scene. Yeah. Like if we're talking about Jeremiah is Batman, I'm going to need a legitimate Robin somewhere. And the time has to be now because you're running out of it.
It's got to be now. Bryson Rogers, Quincy Porter, Mylan Graham, all guys in the portal. Stephen Amines mentioned to us earlier, they're still in communication with Mylan Graham, so we'll see where that goes. But you know better than I do. Like, you can have Jeremiah all day. What teams are going to do probably early on next year is make these other guys win first.
Brackets.
Whether it's Chris Henry, whether it's now Brandon Ennis, you got to show us a few times that we can roll coverage the other way, away from Jeremiah every once in a while, because if not, like you said, they're going to really have a tough defense for Jeremiah to go up against.
I'll say this too, and this is not to knock Chris Henry at all, but for anybody whose expectation is for Chris Henry to come in and be Jeremiah, I think you have put the bar too high. I think you might be setting yourself up for disappointment. And it's not because he won't be a great player at some point in his career, but to expect him to look like a damn alien from day one. I know, I've watched the high school tape. I know what it looks like. I understand. But that is a crazy expectation for a freshman.
Yes, and to your point, Jeremiah, the physical stature of Jeremiah as a freshman was different.
I shook this man's hand last year. I did a feature for NBC before they played Oregon.
Yeah.
I walk in, and it's Emeka who I had met before, and it's Jeremiah. I see Jeremiah. We're eye to eye. I'm like, I knew he was a big dude, broad shoulders. I shook this man's hand. My hands are not small. I felt like he had a glove on, like a baseball mitt.
Yeah.
Like that. What we saw with him should not ever be the expectation for another freshman coming through the door.
Completely agree. And it's crazy how just certain guys, and just no matter what sport you're talking about, they're just built differently by God, man. They just have something different than all of us normal humans.
God has favorites.
Yes.
Jeremiah was one of his favorites.
He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
And so, look, this guy's coming back talking Jeremiah even hungrier than he has been, I think, the last 2 years. Because
did you see on Twitter in this postseason?
Yeah.
He felt disrespect.
Yes.
Right? And he let people know that's how he felt.
He did not like that Mekhi Lemon got the Biletnikoff over him.
By the way, I'm going to give you $150 to show you why.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, look, and the good thing for him is you're going into an offseason to where you and your quarterback are on the same page.
Yes.
And I think that's such an important deal. And also for Julian as well, is that now Julian's turning the page. He's going to be more confident as a leader.
Right.
And now for Julian, this is a guy that hadn't really had to taste his own blood probably ever.
No.
In the way that he had to the last few weeks. And so I think that's a good thing for him as well.
I think it's good. And I think, Julian, this is an offseason where the team needs to hear his voice. And part of that voice is, I know I have to get a lot better, but we got to get better together. And that's be quarterbacky in that way. And then I think for Jeremiah, it's a very similar thing, is you got to be like, I'm the alpha in this thing, and I'm pulling guys along with me. And if you don't want to come for the ride, that's perfectly fine. Don't try to shine with me in the fall.
And he's a dude, man, if you're one of his teammates, like, you better follow that lead.
100%.
You have no choice. Because he's one of those guys he's working the hardest.
Yes.
Best player on the team. And you cannot be a slacker in that way at all.
But you can't work hard by yourself, though.
Yeah.
And I knew dudes that were like that. Mike Thomas is a great example. And it took a while for him to understand that when he went to go catch balls at night, you can bring somebody with you, right? And like I see Jeremiah as a guy who's the perfect bring somebody with you kind of guy because he works all the time.
Yeah.
So that's what you have to see this offseason from him.
There's so many like interviews I've watched from great players in different sports, and they're talking about exactly what you're talking about. It's about the work. Like it's about the work and not just what you see on Sundays, Saturdays, Mondays. And it seems like Jeremiah's doing that. We heard that about Marvin Harrison Jr., and that's just what you have to do there. I want to pick your brain real quick, JP, on the possibility of Ryan Day hiring an offensive coordinator and what you would like to see happen in that kind of realm of the coaching staff.
I think he should. And this is not a Ryan Day doesn't know how to call plays. He would have never got the damn job here as OC if he didn't know how to call plays and change the offense.
Yeah.
I thought Stephen Means brought up a great point about groupthink and what can happen when you have too many people from the same umbrella. That's a Clemson issue. Right, like I've advocated that Dabo should leave Clemson, start new with new people somewhere else because they've gotten too much of that and it's gotten stale. And I think for Ryan Day, it's good to have different ideas in there, in particular in the run game. And I think the other thing is he is so much better at being the head coach at Ohio State when he doesn't have to be burdened with calling the offense. I mean, watching what they did in 24 and how he was able to operate, how close it looked like he was able to get with guys because he wasn't pulled in that direction during the week. All of that was very important to see.
And I think sometimes, look, I don't know this to be the case, but I think when you are really good / great at doing something, you want the credit, right?
Yeah.
And your ego, and I'm not saying, look, I don't know. And I'm not saying, Coach, I'm not accusing him of this, but that's human nature sometimes as well.
That's how these guys are.
Correct.
Lincoln Riley's that way.
Yeah.
Steve Sarkisian. They were asking him this year, are you going to give up the call sheet? He got pissed. Right? Because he knows he's good at it, and that's the offense built in his image. So I understand that.
Yeah.
But you can't be the best play caller possible if you're the head coach, and you can't be the best head coach possible if you're the play caller.
In this era of college football, there's just so much going on, right, that you have to worry about as a head coach.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can remove some of that responsibility,
No doubt.
and you're still going to get a lot of pretty much all the credit at the end of the day.
It's still his offense.
Right.
It's always going to be his offense, and we know it's his offense.
And we will always say that,
Yes.
even if there's an offensive coordinator that is named for next year's team. Did want to mention this as well. James Laurinaitis, Coach Day, they get it done in the portal. They add Wisconsin veteran linebacker Christian Allegro, and he comes in following up some guys that have played really, really well the last few years. Cody Simon, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles this year. And so Coach Laurinaitis grinding the tape, finding a guy that he thinks can continue that momentum in that room.
I bet you Luke Fickle's real happy with his former player there. Here's the reality is linebacker to me seemed like in sneaky portal need because Sonny's gone.
Yep.
Because Arvell's going to be out of here. And they have really good young players in that room. you got to get the competition all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You got to bring them in, especially at a position like linebacker where multiple guys play. You got to bring them in back to back and make everybody feel like they got to earn their reps.
You know what I like, too, is a guy that could come in with a little bit of that big bro energy. Kind of what Cody was to Sonny a couple years ago. And like, to your point, there's talent in that room already.
Right.
But a guy that's played in this conference and played a lot of snaps, you need that guy for sure. So we'll see if he can come in and contribute.
That was a tough front seven for Wisconsin all year long. They were one of the best run defenses in college football. People just didn't push them around.
I remember talking about that. We were getting ready for that game for sure. Is that, hey, up front, man, they're making some noise.
Yeah.
They're making some noise. Hey, coming up, top of the hour, we got an update for you and then a deep dive. Inside the deep dive today, we have now 8 head coach openings in the NFL. We'll give our take on who we think are some of the best right now after the break. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
Common man, a radio veteran, has a large hemorrhoid. Timmy Hall, a good, clean boy, moonlights as man's hemorrhoid. Common man and Timmy.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
Getting the cold shoulder? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your furnace fast. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good. You know the savings are so good. You know the savings are so good. Great cars, great deals, Great Lakes. GLakesHyundai.com.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
The more you buy, the more you save. Buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with your card. Philadelphia cream cheese, Progresso soup, and more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit OutdoorStewards.org.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. You've seized those moments to embrace joy, accomplish great things, and build meaningful relationships. Is it time now to sit back and reflect on a life well lived? Maybe. Or maybe there's more to be done. Maybe this is the most important moment you've encountered yet. By volunteering with AmeriCorps Seniors, you can seize the moment, lend a hand, and get back more than you give. We connect you to local volunteer organizations with opportunities that fit your schedule and match your interests. Through AmeriCorps Seniors, you can support people in times of need and make your community stronger. You can become a companion to your older neighbors, brightening their days with friendship. You can even become a mentor for young people, serving as a role model and enriching their lives. Are you ready to seize your moment? Visit AmeriCorps.gov/yourmoment and get started today.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them. Safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together. All of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, Visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
For the past 100 years, Shriners Children's has become family to over 1.5 million kids.
In tough times and good times, they're there when we need them most.
Please go online right now to loveshriners.org.
I thought mixing bleach with my floor cleaner would take the stain out.
When my youngest ate the dog's medicine, that was a new one.
I was trying to protect my garden, but I accidentally sprayed myself with pesticide.
So I called 1-800-222-1222, the poison helpline.
A poison expert helped me figure out what to do next.
I was connected to someone who spoke Spanish.
They answered my questions.
It was free.
It was confidential.
It was real help in real time.
Keep the poison experts in your pocket. 1-800-222-1222.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Some good news for the Ohio State football program today. First, Wisconsin linebacker Christian Allegro has committed to the Buckeyes. Second, wide receiver and captain Brandon Ennis announced he will return for his senior season. The Ohio State men's basketball team starting a 2-game West Coast swing tonight in Eugene, taking on Oregon at 10:30. The Bucks will be without forward Brandon Knoll, who's going to miss some time with a foot injury. Coverage here on The Fan begins at 9:30. The Columbus Blue Jackets taking on the Vegas Golden Knights at 10 tonight. The CBJ will be without forward Mason Marchman. He was placed on IR with an upper body injury. Mikel Putia has been recalled from Cleveland. Defenseman Brendan Smith underwent surgery to repair a torn meniscus. He'll miss 3 to 4 months. This one's sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. BMI has been voted best credit union for the past 8 years in a row by CBUS Top Picks. Visit BMIFCU.org.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
Happy Thursday, folks. Welcome back in. Hour number 3 of Rothman and Ice. Bottom of the hour. Rick Neuheisel covers college football over at CBS, Sirius XM. Man, we got a CFP semifinal game tonight, JP. And by the way, Joshua Perry's in the house today. If you're just now joining us, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind for me today. Like, I know what's happening, but every time I bring it up, I feel like I'm surprised to be talking about the semifinals tonight. Tomorrow, I can't wait to see Indiana and Oregon Part 2, but this one tonight.
Oh, you're not excited? What, Lane Kiffin ruined it for you?
No. He did not ruin it for me.
Sounds like it.
He didn't ruin it for me because I'm pulling for Ole Miss tonight.
I don't think I am.
I'm kind of in on this magic carpet ride that they're on. They probably feel disrespected by me saying that, but you're rocking with the Canes?
Well, it's for 2 reasons. Number one, for narratives that I've already set in motion that I need to live up. As I get in this content creation business, I got to cheer for the narratives that I'm creating.
Okay, that's how it works. Yeah,
but I'm also, this is the Cope. This is Big Cope Joshua Perry. I'm rooting for Miami and Indiana.
Why?
So I can turn around and be like, well, the only teams Ohio State lost to this year are 2 teams that played in the national title game.
You're that guy.
Yes.
You're that guy.
Yes, I am.
Are you also the guy that likes to feel like because somebody in the conference did something, your team gets a little love from that?
No, I don't think we should accept love that for other people's accomplishments. Mm-hmm. But I do take big pride in the Big Ten. And if I have the opportunity to say that not only has the Big Ten won 3 straight titles, but the SEC didn't play for any of those titles, that would warm my heart.
Yeah, okay. TLC, where do you fall in this conversation? Are you a guy that, well, your team's not even in a conference, so I'm asking the wrong guy. But if Notre Dame...
yeah, so none of this money's coming to me, so no.
Well, that's how I kind of view it. Like, if Indiana wins or Oregon wins, I'm like, okay, good for them.
Yeah, it's
There's
good for
nothing
them,
for me.
but it's also good for the patch on the jersey.
Okay, you want to dunk on the people.
You know who I'm rooting for. Speaking of pushing your own agendas.
Okay, so this man right now, and I'll be interesting to hear your take. I want him to run this by you. Go ahead.
I said this twice on the air on this show, and apparently he didn't hear this until I said it on New Year's Day. I said after Indiana beat Oregon on the road, I said Kurt Cignetti's the best coach in college football.
He is.
Well, there we go. We're off to a fantastic start.
Yes. Might be the best coach in the history of the sport, but continue.
I said it again after the Ohio State game. That's when I said, okay, now it's confirmed.
Yep.
And then I just kind of in passing, this was New Year's Day. So obviously Ohio State, Miami would have happened New Year's Eve. So that game was already settled. Oregon had already shut out Texas Tech, so that was already settled. So we got the TVs back here, and it's the pregame for Alabama, Indiana. Now, this is easier now because Indiana blew out Alabama, and they're the only team that had the bye and still played well. And all the other bye teams are losing the past couple of years. Yeah. So we know that now, but we didn't know that at the time. And so we were just back there talking, and in passing, I kind of just, not even thinking it was a hot take, just kind of dropped it. Kurt Cignetti, there's the best coach in college football. I got Ice, I got Nicole Sheeran, I got Jacob Reimer throwing coaches left and right at me. I'm like, no. You said
here's what I want to do.
I heard Kirby Smart. I heard Dan Lanning. I heard.
How is Dan Lanning better?
He's the one who said Dan Lanning.
Here's what I want to do.
How, Sway?
Let's turn on the right blinker and hop in the slow lane. Just a little bit here. The body of work is so small that I just heard from you that he may be the best head coach ever.
Yes.
No, we can't do that yet. Sport. We're not allowed to do this.
Why aren't we?
Because the same reason why I hated the arguments that after Pat Mahomes won 2 Super Bowls, that he's already the GOAT. Okay. That's not how things work. That's not how things work. I am not knocking Kurt Cignetti. The dude is doing a hell of a job at Indiana. But I'm just saying, I am not picking him right now.
I will.
Over Kirby Smart to run my program.
Why?
I'm not doing it. Because I have
Kirby, the wheels have fallen off. Georgia's dynasty might be over before it even started.
Unintended.
But going back to what this man has built, I'm just saying, can we give it some time?
Can you get to the Dan Lanning that you would throw out in front of Cignetti?
I was just saying, I like what Dan Lanning has done at Oregon over now, 3 years?
Okay.
We're a year and a half or a year and 3/4 into this thing, essentially, with Kirk Cignetti. And again, you guys are hearing what I'm not saying.
I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say, and I love it.
By the way, is what people said Ryan Day was before he won the title, is what people say James Franklin is. He doesn't have the big games. He lost to Washington. He lost to Ohio State when it mattered last year. He got his ass beat by Georgia his first year there. What Indiana did to Bama was what Georgia did to Oregon and Dan Lanning.
Bama was not a very good football team this year. It was BTA. It was BTA.
Kurt Cignetti has 2 losses since he's gotten to Indiana. Ohio State and Notre Dame.
Correct.
That's it.
I know, but we can't
James Madison's players.
We can't sit here and act like the Bama team that they just wiped the floor with was constructed in the way that they were in the past.
They'll never be constructed that way. But Indiana, up until this year, had more losses than anybody in college football. And now they're probably going to win a national title this year. He brought in guys from James Madison.
He did.
Turned that program around in a way we've never seen before in a sport where typically you can't elevate like that, period, let alone how quickly he did it. And I'll go as far as to say that Saban never wanted to see this man on a Power 4 sideline. And that's why when he left Alabama, unlike Kirby and unlike Lane and unlike all these other guys who have gotten jobs under Saban, this man had to go D2. And then as soon as he gets to Indiana, Saban's like, I'm out.
So you think he was
because he knew the superpowers Kurt Cignetti possessed. He did.
Interesting. I've never heard that take. I just think you guys are a little premature with this. That's all. I'm not saying that I won't get there one day. I'm just saying I'm not there now. He is a great coach right now.
Okay.
But to sit here and crown him.
What would it take?
It would take him winning the chip this year and then.
To pass who?
Oh, I need to come up with a list then.
Okay. If he wins a title, in one title, he's already passed Kirby. He's already passed.
Here's what I was told.
Significantly harder to do it at Indiana than what Kirby did.
I get that, but we can't sit here. Let's say, all right, I'm trying to bring up another example from another sport.
I'll give you the names. Nicole was the first one to rebut this, and shocker, Georgia grad Nicole.
Yeah, we know this.
Yes. So she initially said Kirby Smart and Ryan Day, and I said Kurt Cignetti just beat Ryan Day immediately.
Right.
Okay.
But
I said last year's with worse players.
With worse players. Cannot wipe away, to me, a body of work. Like, I don't like living in that world. In the same way we talked about the Heisman, right? When it came down to when Mendoza and Julian
By the end of this year, Kurt Cignetti could have matched Ryan Day in both conference championships and national titles in year 2 at Indiana.
You know what this is like to me?
With worse players.
This would have been like, and now we can't say that in year 2. They had a portal class. They got really good players.
But the blue chip ratio is the blue chip ratio still. They have an 8% blue chip ratio.
But listen to this.
Ohio State's like, what is Ohio State in the 80s? maybe 90%.
Ohio State's gonna have 5 first rounders. We can't name a second player besides Fernando Mendoza on their roster.
Year 1 on the Indiana schedule, who did they beat?
It doesn't matter.
No, it does matter.
Michigan.
Who did? Okay,
Michigan.
How good was that Michigan team?
Good enough to beat Ohio State.
Okay, that's not what I'm asking, though. I'm asking, when you looked at that roster, how good was that team?
We could do this right now.
Multiple
Like,
first
who did
rounders.
Ohio State really beat this year?
That's
And
not
I
what-
hate
okay.
doing that.
But listen, my
because
point
it's
is
reductive.
No, my point is, you guys are acting like Indiana right now is the crown jewel of the sport, and they might be. And that's what I'm saying. They might be.
I'm saying he is.
But I can't sit here and give a guy the crown in the entire sport when I've watched other head coaches get to the top of the mountain, get to multiple conference championship games, and put together really good season after really good
I
season.
guess
I'm
the
not there
assumption
yet.
No, he's done it. He just hasn't done it in Indiana.
That's the thing. Because
what I said, Kurt Signetti wins more coin flip talent games than anybody else.
We can't give him credit for James Madison at this level.
Guys used to get hired. They used to get credit for doing stuff like that all the time.
Winning at that level is easier than winning at a Power 4 conference.
I think that the talent in that conference is probably more balanced than the talent is in the Big Ten.
But it's not better.
1 through however many teams.
But it's not
better, but
than
it's
the
more
talent.
balanced.
So
That's the thing.
No, but that's my point.
No,
It's like,
I guess my assumption is that if Kurt Signetti can do what he's done in under 2 years at Indiana, if he was at Ohio State or if he was at Georgia or if he was at Oregon or wherever, anywhere else, he could do the same thing.
That might be true. I just don't like.
You think
So here's where
Alabama wishes they had Kalen DeBoer, or do you think they wish they had Kurt
right now
Signetti?
they wish they had Signetti.
Okay,
of course,
that's what
I
I'm
get
getting
that.
at.
But my thing is, so another example, when Jaden Daniels had an incredible rookie year, right? Mm-hmm. There's nobody in this room that would sit here and say, I'm taking him over Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, or Lamar Jackson.
Because
you know why?
Mahomes.
But here's the reason why. Is because we would say he's only done it for so long, and while the sample size was small and good, we're not ready to do that. So why are we doing that now with Signetti?
Because I think part of my thought process is, like, I look at what Jaden Daniels did, and I said Pat Mahomes could have done all of that, right? I'm looking at what Kurt Signetti has done so far. I'm not sure anybody in the history of this sport has done it. He is a one of one.
He is.
In the way that he's
I agree with you guys.
And so, like, that's a part of this for me. And to be fair, these other guys haven't had the chance to do it. Ryan Day didn't have to take that path. Kirby didn't have to. Dan Lanning didn't have to take that. So, like, it's comparing different things. Mm-hmm. What I have seen is so remarkable that I'm comfortable saying that I don't even give a damn about the 7 rings that Saban has right now. I'm just assuming that if Kurt Signetti was the head coach at Alabama at the time, he would have done what Saban did.
You guys are, look.
You want a hotter take? I'll give you one.
Why not? You can't beat his best all-time coach.
Well, this may not be that. Actually, you know what? This honestly,
I'm on my Stephen A right now.
Now that I say this, it's probably not even a hot take. Kurt Signetti's name is going up in that stadium when he's done.
Oh, dude, they're building him a statue next year.
No, I'm not mad at that.
And the reason being is because all of it, like, Darrell K. Royal's name is on Texas' stadium because he solved all their problems like way long ago.
Yeah.
Indiana has a decade after decade of nothing.
And being
He's the
irrelevant.
one solution. He's the one solution. And you know what he did that Dan Lanning didn't do? And I'm sorry to say this, that Marcus Freeman didn't do? He didn't create a program. Kurt Signetti did. Dan Lanning took over for Mario Cristobal. Marcus Freeman took over for Brian Kelly. That's a lot different than taking over for Tom Allen. For Tom Allen, who was 3-9.
I'm not disputing any of that. I'm not. I'm just saying, can we give it a little bit more time?
We can.
That's all I'm saying.
He wins all of his coin flip games, and now he's stealing wins.
And I'm with you. We'll give it more time, but I'm putting this on wax today. So I can go back and be like,
I'm here for
in
that.
December and January of 25 and 26, before anybody was willing to say this, I was the one.
Okay. You said best coach of all time. He's on that way.
Period.
Okay. I love it, man. I love it. Look, the momentum doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon over there. And so this guy has things in order.
You look at that portal class.
It's nasty, man. Nick Marsh coming in.
Damn.
Listen, man. You cannot take anything away from him. That's not what I'm trying to do.
It sounds like it.
I just think you guys are a little early to the party. And maybe I'm late.
I think I might be early, but I'm fine being
Maybe I'm
early.
late. Maybe I'm late.
Always showing up a little bit early.
It's good stuff. They'll get it going tomorrow against Oregon. What we got next coming up in Pre-Stop Reese, TLC?
I forget. We'll figure it out.
All right, we'll talk about it next. It's Rothman Ice right here on the Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Did you know that 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by February? And did you know there's a good chance it's just hormones? Hi, I'm Evan Bass, founder of the Columbus Men's Clinic, and I started this clinic a decade ago to take care of men. If your testosterone is low, then motivation, energy, and drive often follow too. And keeping resolutions can feel like walking through mud, and even more so as we age. ED and low T tend to get worse if untreated. And guys, you're not alone. Your physician-led support team at the Columbus Men's Clinic has your back. For years, we've effectively treated ED and low T comprehensively, and with proven treatments dialed in just for you. With same-day booking, you can meet our passionate medical team, and by this afternoon, you'll leave with a plan that's designed to be sustainable for life. The number one thing we hear guys say is, I forgot how I used to feel. Guys, it's time to feel amazing and crush this new year. Call my team right now and let us treat you to an unforgettable experience. Dial 614-300-7400 or go to columbusmensclinic.com. That's columbusmensclinic.com.
Are you ready to transform your future and become a confident leader? Look no further than the Ohio State University Army ROTC program. For over a century, they've been developing future Buckeye leaders, shaping careers that change lives. Enroll now and seize the opportunity to apply for their life-changing scholarships. Whether you dream of serving your country or pursuing a successful career, the Ohio State University Army ROTC is here to support you every step of the way. Don't miss out. Visit arotc.osu.edu today to learn more and take the first step towards an extraordinary future.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day. My sinks gurgle, they barely drain. The toilet overflowed. I plunge all day with no luck. What's wrong with this commode?
Clogged drain, no problem. It's 93 or free. I'll clear any drain or you don't pay with a 1-year guarantee.
It's 93 or free. Guaranteed.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Around the world, Children International and friends like you are giving children in poverty a chance to grow and thrive, to be healthy, to succeed in school, and achieve great things. How do we do it? In the best way possible, by helping ensure access to healthcare, nutrition, and educational opportunities. And most importantly, by empowering youths and their families to get out of poverty and into employment through life skills, computer, and job training. The very tools they need to break the cycle of poverty and build futures full of promise. Because every child deserves a chance to realize their full and best potential. Learn more about how Children International is empowering children and families by going to children.org today. That's children.org.
It's easy to think of winter as a time when not much is happening in the landscape or in the pest and disease world. However, there are a couple of services that can help your trees and shrubs during the colder months, like horticultural oil and anti-desiccant applications. Visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org to learn more and to find an ISA-certified arborist in your area who is trained and has the proper equipment to perform your tree work safely.
Have you ever thought about having a podiatric physician examine your feet? Doctors of Podiatric Medicine set broken bones, perform wound care, and remove bunions. Common health issues that they treat include ingrown or fungal nails, corns, warts, and skin problems like athlete's foot. Foot exams are easy and can prevent many foot problems. If you can't walk, work, or enjoy sports activities without pain, what are you waiting for? To find a podiatric physician who is a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Because there are often no early symptoms, nearly half of those with glaucoma may not even know they have it until vision loss has occurred.
I was diagnosed with normal tension glaucoma in July of 2020. And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. And you think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a Bright Focus Foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube, along with those fake YouTube ads like Chew This Gum and It Grows New Teeth. Experience the splendor of Bo sitting in his closet, Timmy Hall's gouty gold chains, and Matty Ice wearing a coat in 90-degree weather. It's all there. Head to YouTube and subscribe today. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Could see some patchy lingering fog today, otherwise mostly cloudy and mild with highs in the mid to upper 50s. For tonight, lows in the upper 40s to low 50s, gusty winds, and we'll see showers developing going toward daybreak on Friday. For Friday, we could see scattered showers and even isolated thunderstorms. It will be significantly warmer and breezy with highs in the mid to low 60s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
All right, welcome back in, folks. Before we get into some pre-snap reads, let me talk to you about our family at Bet365, and they're ready to take care of you if you're a new customer, because listen closely, all you're going to have to do is bet $5. After that, you are getting $200 in bonus bets, whether you win or lose. So take that $200 and turn it into something better, folks, when you bet on money line spreads, totals, or player props. Looking at the NBA tonight. Cavs, Timberwolves, Cavs in Minnesota. As you know, when you deal with the Minnesota Timberwolves, you got to deal with Ant-Man. Anthony Edwards is an absolute beast. I like his juice tonight for 35 or more points at plus 180.
Brian Gas.
Yeah, man. That's when he was talking to Charles Barkley, right? Right before the postseason?
Yeah, because he said he hadn't been in Minnesota in like 20 years.
Ant-Man's one of those characters around sports that I just love, man. Like, he is those type of guys.
I don't know if I love all of the off-the-court storylines, but he got some stuff happening in his life.
He and another one popped up for Zion yesterday. I don't know if you saw that one floating
Which,
around.
by the way, back in the day, there used to be a code. The game was played the right way. Now they're out here for fame, and a dude like Zion can't even
walk around his own
have
home.
the type of fun that he likes to have without the fear of being exposed.
Yeah, recorded in his own home yesterday. It's just it's crazy out here right now.
Speaking of Charles Barkley, here's his take on defensive line play.
On the defensive line, I just ran into another fat dude for 2 hours. I'm like, there's no talent involved in this.
Just ran into another fat dude for 2 hours.
Unbelievable. You hear some great stories about Charles Barkley, though.
Yes.
When he shows up to like a bar or a party and how he just, hey, it's all me. The entire thing is on me. So he seems like a good dude, too.
Did you hear the story about the guy that he met at the bar, and he gave his phone number? They stayed in touch. And I think the guy just passed away.
Yeah.
But was tight with his family, showed up to the funeral, whole deal.
Yeah, there's a lot of Shaq, too. There's some stories out there that you'll hear about those guys. They're kind of, it's sad. They're out of sight, out of mind a little bit on ESPN now. Same show, but just not out
It's not the same.
Yeah,
right?
like
that's
TNT.
the thing. I used to love watching him. So I think I've watched him like twice.
I know. It's crazy. Hey, download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only, must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply. In-app only.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
So Browns fans, a bit of an update when it comes to finding your new head coach. It sounds like today, both your coordinators have received interviews. And that's going to be Tommy Rees, as you know, on offense, and Jim Schwartz on defense. JP looking at these two guys as potential candidates to follow Kevin Stefanski. Would you like one of these guys if they were named the next head coach?
I think I could deal with the little Schwartz, right? Like, it feels like an adult. You need an adult in that room for sure. Tommy Rees is an absolute cannot hire. First off, I don't think he's ready. Just his coaching career. And by the way, he was a quality control coach in San Diego my rookie year. So he's been around coaching, right? But the big assignments, I'm not sure. Number one. Number two, the guy is an a-hole. Point blank, period. He gets too amped up. He's too animated. He likes to yell at dudes in a way that feels demeaning. Hey, first off, you're a quarterback. I'm never getting yelled at by a dude who played quarterback. Like, I just, period. That's where I start and end the conversation. But I don't think he has the type of cachet, especially as a younger dude, to come in there and try to be a tyrant. So if that's his personality and that's who he kind of is predisposed to be, I don't think it works out anyway.
And I asked Tyvus this the other day. You mentioned coaches that have that type of energy around them to where they want to be a tyrant. Does that work in the NFL, or is that more of a college thing where you can get away with that?
I think it can, under two very particular circumstances.
You win.
First one is you got to be a winner, and you got to win right away for that to work. The second one is that you have to have a relationship with your players, and your best players have to be a guy who can vouch for coach. Bill Belichick, he was a bit of a tyrant, not full tyrant, right? He understood guys were adults. He's probably harder than a lot of coaches that were out there.
Mm-hmm.
He and Tom were cool, at least for a while, right? So you can do that when the best player in the league is like, hey, man, no, like this is how coach gets it done. But once you start losing guys, once you start losing games, you lost your way.
Can't do it. And to your point about the whole Brady and Belichick dynamic, the power struggle that was going on with the two, it sounded like Brady was ticked off when he found out Bill was ready to move on.
Well, and that's when it all fell apart.
And Tom was like, are you
Bill
crazy?
By the way, who was it?
Tom was right.
Yeah.
Tom was absolutely right because he was still playing at a very high level and went on to win a Super Bowl. And it speaks to no matter how great you are as a coach, you don't got to do that quarterback. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because New England, prior to this Drake May window of time, they've been irrelevant.
Let me say
for the most
this.
part. Yeah.
It's insane that Tom became who he became because watching what they turned Mac Jones into,
right?
It's a non-starter.
No.
When Bill got hired at North Carolina, it was the first thing I said. I said, we got to separate the Bill and Tom thing. And he took Mac Jones from rookie year, great player, to who the hell is this guy and how can we get rid of him?
Correct. Look, me as a Ravens fan in my delusional mind, I've been saying over the last 24 to 48 hours, you make him tell you no.
Who?
The Ravens. And Belichick.
Make who?
You make Belichick tell you no.
Oh, brother.
You call him and say, Bill.
That was great.
You're about, 14, 15 wins away from having the all-time wins
It's going to
thing
take him
next
4
to your name
seasons to get there. He can't coach anymore.
Well,
he's lost his way.
I think he can coach up a defense still. No? You don't believe in that?
No, the defense at UNC got better as the year went on, for sure.
You're going to have Jordan with the headset on like she's Ursay's daughter.
So can we talk about that for a sec? Because I
Which
do
one,
think,
Jordan or Ursay?
Well, both of them. It kind of goes together. Which, Carly, phenomenal. I was there in Indy in 17. She was great, but it's a jarring thing to see. And the Jordan Bill Belichick thing, I think, is emblematic of one of the reasons why you cannot hire that man in this day and age. Because he wants to hire his kids. His son's going to call the defense. His other son is going to coach whatever the hell. That Lombardi dude who he hired as his GM, who nobody thought was a good talent evaluator, who's not really a good guy. And then you hire his son to coach quarterbacks, and then it seemed like they picked the wrong quarterback at the beginning of the year, by the way. This man is unhireable.
Here's what I think, though. All those
and also,
things
you don't get McDaniels because he's probably not leaving Vrabel.
It's true.
All those things factually correct. I would have trust in his ability to do what he does well, and that is defense at this level. Also, Lamar is in-house, right? We've seen him with a good quarterback.
What do you think Lamar and
Win
Bill
at the
would
highest
be
level.
like together?
It's definitely an odd dynamic. It's the odd couple for sure.
A little bit of an odd couple.
It's the odd couple for sure. But all I'm saying is you make him tell you.
I don't think
That's
you do.
it.
I think you call Kurt Signetti and you make him say no.
No. Kirk Signetti. No.
You don't think he could do it?
No, I don't think he can do it. You guys know how I feel about him already with the small sample size. Do you want to make the leap to the NFL?
He wants Dan Lanning to go to the NFL.
No, he probably does. Marcus Freeman. He would have been fine with Marcus Freeman. But Kurt Signetti is a hell no, apparently.
I don't want Dan Lanning. Hey, real quick before we go to break, 2 minutes while Rick Neuheisel. Miami did move on from Mike McDaniel. It felt like it was going that way. Just, he came onto the scene, had this new innovative offense. It felt like nobody could catch up with. And
I said it earlier, hiring geniuses is never the long-term solution. And a guy it's two things for me now. It's really three. The visor, I'm kind of out on. A lot of guys do it, so I can make exceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Genius tag, You're done
out.
with
You're
you.
completely out.
And ankle showing on the sidelines.
Yeah, I'm not really big on those pants either.
Done.
Also, be honest here.
I'm not big on those pants.
And I hate to do this.
He doesn't shower. That was another, AR brings that up too.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't shower that often.
Fran Brown at Syracuse, when they lose, he says winners get washed is his line.
Yeah.
I love Fran
I was going to say, though, on top of all of that, Mike McDaniel looks like he's 5'5". If you're a 6'5" offensive lineman and you got that dude like trying to correct what you're doing, is there any part of you? Yeah.
Simmer down.
Is there any part of you that's just like
little fella?
Go fly a
Move
kite.
along.
A guy I do believe though can step into an offensive coordinator role somewhere and be all right. I wouldn't be mad at hiring him as an OC right now.
Does he do a solid and just call up Kyle Shanahan and say, "Can I have my old job back?"
Maybe so. Hey, because that seems to work because you get attached to some of these head coaches.
That's what you do.
The shine is back on Robert Saleh again.
And I don't know if Kyle Shanahan has hired an OC.
I don't think he has.
I think Mike McDaniel took the job in Miami, and then Shanahan's like, the offense is mine.
I think you're right. Coming up in 2 minutes, folks, we'll talk about the college football playoff semifinals and a lot more with Rick Neuheisel right around the corner. Don't move. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
BMI Federal Credit Union has been voted best credit union for the past 8 years in a row. With personalized service and excellent products, BMI FCU is ready to help with all your banking needs. Visit BMIFCU.org to open an account today.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Did you know January is the perfect time to replace your windows? At least if you go with Window Nation, it is. January at Window Nation is buy 4, get 4 window free time. Yes, that's the sale. Plus, with Window Nation, you can get 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. Plus, Window Nation windows get a 50-point inspection before they leave the factory. They come with a lifetime warranty, and they can be installed within a day. Buy 4 windows, get 4 windows free sale. Going on now, windownation.com.
Hey, Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
Day 1, the hardest day. The day you hear,
"This is a type of blood cancer."
At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1. To learn more and get help on any day, visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Their live golf team name is Ice Dogs. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Welcome back in, folks. Joshua Perry, the former Buckeye national champion, in the house today. Going to light up right now. Bring on one of our favorites. He's Rick Neuheisel. He's joining us via the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Rick, first of all, I just want to start off by saying congratulations. Found out you've been named the coach for the Dallas Renegades in the UFL. How you feeling about that? Welcome in.
I am feeling great, other than the fact now I have to battle the great Ted Ginn Jr., who's going to be the head coach there at the Aviators for your Columbus team. And I know Ted can't wait to get a piece of me. I know he can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be fun, man. And again, congratulations to you. Let's lock in on the game tonight, Coach. We got Miami and Ole Miss out there in the desert. Ole Miss really riding a nice wave of momentum, and then Miami coming off the big win against Ohio State. When you look at this matchup, where are your eyes going to go first? What are some of the critical matchups within this game?
As I look at this game, and you're going to hear some feedback in the background because I'm actually at the stadium right now. We begin a pregame show here in about a half hour, so I'm looking forward to that. But they're testing the microphones. I just heard the national anthem 3 times, and it was beautifully done. So everybody can look forward to that. But this is going to be a line of scrimmage game, and that's the way Miami wants it. Miami wants to win in the trenches. Miami wants to figure out a way to make this game shorter. In the 2 playoff games that Miami has won to advance at College Station and then in the Cotton Bowl against Ohio State, they've only thrown for 238 yards. 238 yards in 2 games. Carson Beck is a manager right now. And I don't mean that disparagingly. They just have decided we're that good on the defensive side, especially because we can create a pass rush with 4 guys. Mesidor and Bain are unique guys on the edges, And so they don't have to commit anybody else to the pass rush to force you to get it out of your hand. They feel like that's their way to play. Don't put the ball up for risk. Carson Beck has 6 of his 10 interceptions in their 2 losses, 4 against Louisville and 2 against SMU. And so if we can keep that from happening, we're tough to beat. And I think that's the formula. And then they're going to run the ball. Fletcher and company are going to run the ball. Fletcher probably get around 20 carries tonight. And Ole Miss was in the 60s. Only 136 FBS teams. They were in the 60s against the run. So it's going to line up pretty easy for Mario Cristobal from a strategy standpoint. The thing that they have to stop is this kid, Trinidad Chambliss. Can they stop him? Can they keep Kewan Lacey from getting his? And if they can, then this game will go very much Miami's way.
Rick, it's Joshua Perry. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Really enjoy watching your work there. I wanted to look at the other game that's happening tomorrow. It's a game that we saw earlier this year. I believe you guys actually had it there.
We actually were on the sideline for it.
Yes.
Exactly.
And so, it's Oregon, it's Indiana. These are 2 programs that have shown that they can build culture, I think mirror each other in a lot of how they want to get it done, built strong across the both offensive and defensive fronts there. But what maybe is different in this matchup, or what would have to be different in this matchup to see a different outcome?
Well, Oregon's going to have to be able to run the ball, and they're down a running back. They lost one of their guys to a broken collarbone in the Orange Bowl, so it'll be interesting if the 2 remaining backs that'll get the lion's share of the carries can get that done against an incredibly formidable Indiana defense. If you look at the DNA of all the teams that made the playoffs, it was defense first, and certainly that's the case with Indiana. They have an elite secondary. I wouldn't be shocked if all 4 of their guys that start there are in the NFL next year. They have that going for them, which allows them to do a bunch of gap exchanging up front. They don't necessarily line up and just beat you off the line of scrimmage. They do a lot of trading of gaps, but they're really good at it. They know where their help is, and they've been formidable against the run. So if all of a sudden Oregon can't run the ball, which was the case in round 1 of this matchup, then all of a sudden now it's put on to these secondary guys who are winning their share of 50-50 balls. And if you go to the other side of the ball, Surratt and Cooper and now Becker, who's kind of come on. You remember him making that great catch against Penn State down the stretch. Those 3 guys are all tall. They're all body types. They all win. They all make 50-50 balls more like 60-40 or 70-30 balls. So to me, and the incredible accuracy of the 2 quarterbacks, I think Dante and Fernando both can put it where they want to. Wouldn't shock me that they're 1 and 2 in the upcoming draft. I think this is a remarkably good game. But if Oregon's going to be different than they were last year when they lost at home, they're going to have to run the ball.
I want to follow up here because we were having a discussion about Curt Cignetti, and I'm ready to say that he's the greatest coach I've ever seen on a football field. But certainly it feels like he's the best coach in college football right now. In the big picture, can you put into context what he's done over the last 2 years at Indiana? Because I've never seen anything quite like it.
Well, just imagine that you're an Indiana fan and you walked into a fortune teller 3 years ago, and he told you, you're an Indiana fan. Yes. You like your football program. Yes. You're the losingest program in the history of the sport. Yes. But I've got good news for you. You will make the college football playoff each of the next 2 seasons. You will win the Big Ten championship for the first time in decades. You will win a bowl game. Actually, it'll be the Rose Bowl, because the last time you won a bowl game was in the early 90s with the Copper Bowl. And you will have you will be the number 1 team in the country. You'll beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game, and you'll be the 1 seed headed into the semifinals. Do you think that guy's walking out of there going, that person has any sense at all? I mean, there is just no chance that you can believe all that, and you'll win the Heisman Trophy. Throw in the Heisman Trophy. That is an incredible thing that's been accomplished, and yet it looks like it's business as usual for this team. So there's going to be, look at all 4 of these coaches left are Sabanites, right? They've all been under Nick Saban. They will all be studied. Every coach out there will look at how they prepared, how they got all this done, and they all learned it from the master. So this Cignetti undertaking has been as monumental as anything in the history of sport, let alone college football.
Rick Neuheisel joining us here on The Fan. Obviously does a great job covering college football, Sirius XM, CBS, and a lot of other places. So, Rick, we appreciate your time on a busy day. Hey, the DeMond Williams situation, Coach, right now seems to be messy, right? Obviously, you're very well aware of that program out there in Washington, but your understanding as to where this thing is headed now, because it just seems like this is may take a little while to clean up.
Well, the first thing that happened is his agent just disengaged from him. Sent him on his way because the agent was the guy who set the first deal, and that agent also represents Jed Fish. Just like we saw with Garrett Nussmeier and Brian Kelly at LSU, both being represented by the same guy, that happened in this deal at Washington. So when someone called him and say there's a new market that was made at Texas Tech with Brendan Sorsby, and I know now that he's off the market that I can get you, upwards of $6 million. I think he signed for like $4.5 million at Washington. I can get you up to $6.5 million, maybe even $7 million in this new spot, whether it be Miami or LSU or some new suitor. That got DeMond Williams' interest. So he threw himself in the portal. He's now trying to get out of the contract that he signed. And college football has a black eye because we let all this happen. We can't blame the players. We have to blame the game, and the game belongs to us. And so the adults in the room have to get to a place where we can fix this. Number one, the calendar. Number two, collectively bargain so there's reasonable rules that to go along, like all professional leagues have reasonable rules, and that the fans can understand. Because right now, if you're at Washington and you put a bunch of money into the collective and now they're going to ask for more because you got to go get another guy, holy smokes, are you fed up? And we can't do that to the college football fan. They've been too loyal over the years.
We hear you, Coach. And look, you've always been great to us, so we really appreciate your time, especially on a game day and throughout the year. And we're definitely looking forward to catching up with you throughout the summer, maybe early portion of fall. So good luck the rest of the way, Coach, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Go Buckeyes, and tell Ted to take it easy on me, will you?
Will do. Rick Neuheisel joining us here on The Fan via the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Fellas, listen closely because you've only got one life, as we all know, and I want you to take care of yourself. And the place to go where they're going to take care of you is the Columbus Men's Clinic. So no more excuses. If you're dealing with ED or low T issues, then your confidence is probably low. Your friends and family are probably feeling a different energy from you. I want you to get your energy ramped up the right way. So again, get on over to the Columbus Men's Clinic because they've been focused on ED and low T for a long time. Since 2014, they have been helping men get safe the right way. So call them at 614-300-7400 right now or book online in under 30 seconds at columbusmensclinic.com. If you're starting to notice things get shaky, do not wait any longer because it will only get worse. I went on over to the Columbus Men's Clinic. They helped me out, checked out my blood, and I've been feeling great ever since. I want the same confidence for you guys. So again, call them at 614-300-7400, or again, you can book online in under 30 seconds at columbusmensclinic.com. We'll hit the finish line of the show next. We'll tell the truth. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet Store.
Hi, this is Mike with the Good Feet Store. Are your bad feet making work miserable? You're not alone. Here's Vale, a real Good Feet Store customer.
I'm a salesman. I've pounded the pavement 35 years, literally. My legs ached, my feet hurt. It was just sometimes unbearable. But if you don't have a good attitude when you're in sales, it shows on your face. I heard an advertisement on the radio for the Good Feet Store, and I said, what can I lose?
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Val get back to doing what they love without their feet getting in the way.
I walked in the Good Feet Store and I said, my feet hurt. What a difference with these arch supports. When I go and talk to my customers, I've got a smile on my face. I can go all day long, and then some. It's the real deal. My name's Val, and that's my Good Feet story.
Don't let bad feet stop you from achieving your 2026 health goals. Visit the Good Feet Store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road at Grove City.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Hey guys, 13-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion Jason McCourty here, and I'm an innovation ambassador at FAIR, Food Allergy and Research Education. I would say the most challenging thing as a parent of a kid who has a food allergy is probably the ignorance that I myself had in the beginning. I didn't know what anaphylactic shock was. I didn't know the dangers, let alone the things that she needed to be able to have a normal life. When you go to drop your kid off, on every single time in the beginning, we'd have to go through everything she was allergic to. Preparation is everything. And me, for playing football for 13 years, it was all throughout the course of the week. It's getting ready for game day. When you're on the field, you're playing for your fans. At home, you're playing for your family. My playbook, read labels, keep it allergy friendly, and have an epinephrine nasal spray as a backup plan. Because when my family's safe from food allergens, that's the real victory. Visit foodallergy.org to learn more.
Day 1, the hardest day. The day you hear,
"This is a type of blood cancer."
At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1. To learn more and get help on any day, visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572.
It's Timmy Hall and AI Common Man. Happy to ring in another year with our friends at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Hey, Mikey, do you want to be a millionaire? Hollywood is the place to do it.
From now until March 25th, you have the chance to win $1 million instantly. And here's something Mikey likey. All new brunch items at the Sportsbook Restaurant and Bar, like Biscoff stuffed French toast, country Benedict, or roast beef hash skillet. Yummy.
Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Planning to buy a home in 2026? Not sure where to start? The Ohio Housing Finance Agency can help. With a step-by-step homebuyer's guide and financial tools, the Ohio Housing Finance Agency can make homeownership part of your future. Eligible homebuyers may qualify for down payment assistance and reduced mortgage interest rates. To see if you qualify and to find a mortgage lender, visit myohiohome.org. Again, that's myohiohome.org. Homeownership. Make it part of your future. Sponsored by the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Some journeys start small, with small pause and big purpose.
Look how little fly, you sweet girl.
Every great partnership begins with the first step,
Bella, let's go.
guiding them through the world so one day they can guide someone through life. With shared experience, confidence grows, and the path becomes clear. It takes time, patience, and love. But the reward lasts a lifetime.
Hey, good girl, Bella.
You don't just raise a puppy. You raise a future. Become a Dogs Inc. puppy raiser. Give a dog a purpose. Give someone.
Learn more at dogsinc.org.
Love football, love wings. Put those bad boys together and you get Austin and Byrne live at Roosters.
Presented by Bryant Heating and Cooling.
Large amounts of football and all the donkey sauce you can handle. Mondays on the Fans YouTube channel.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Cosby Heating and Cooling and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by McDaniel GM Superstore. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
All right, TLC, take us to the crib. What do you got cooked up today, and tell the truth, brother?
All right, first of all, we have multiple YouTube commenters who are passing along a congratulations to Joshua Perry on winning your national championship.
Thank you. Thank you. Never too late.
Yeah, it's
never too late.
Whomever may have missed it on Common Man and Timmy yesterday.
Yeah, that was Rimmer.
Here's Joshua Perry asked him a Matthew Olivier-based hockey question.
Yeah.
And here was Rimmer's response.
Well, Josh, let me just say this, and congratulations for that national championship win a few years back. I didn't have a chance to tell you, but I am doing that here tonight. But
that was 12 years ago, Jeff.
Well, so I haven't seen him in 12 years.
That's right.
Oh, a decade and some change, man.
Never too late.
Yeah, exactly. Never too late. That's awesome.
Never too late.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. So we found out on November 27th, so that'd be, a month and a half ago, that we have a high-profile recruit named Cooper Witten, who is from Dallas, Texas. If you can start piecing things together, you'll figure it out. He revealed his top 10. Some notable schools. He had all 3 Texas schools in there because he's a Dallas boy. So he had Texas, he had A&M, he had Texas Tech. He had Tennessee, where a relative may have gone.
Okay.
He has Ohio State, who you guys are concerned about, Notre Dame, who I'm concerned about, and Oklahoma, who actually seemed to be leading in terms of the recruiting intel. The so-called experts had him leading towards Oklahoma.
And then what happened?
And then today, Brent Venables hires Jason Witten as Oklahoma's tight ends coach.
It's interesting.
So, tell the truth. Was Cooper Witten's recruitment just nailed to Oklahoma right then and there?
Of course it was. You're absolutely all over this to follow those Blues clues. He will be an Oklahoma Sooner.
I love my father. He's a great man.
Yep.
I would not want to be coached by my daddy.
No.
That's what Knox Kiffin said. He said, I want to beat my dad.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it's
too much.
You've been coaching me my whole life.
Correct.
Like, half the time I tune you out.
I just thought about this too. Like in the baseball world, Don Mattingly's going back to the Phillies to be around his son. Like we can separate the two a little bit. Like I just think, especially to this degree, though, it's every single day.
And then you got beef at home, and then that carries over to the office. I'm already not trying to hear you.
Right.
And then
so
I have to listen to you.
Have to in this.
And then
setting.
you're going to make an example.
Correct.
Right. No.
Oh yeah, because you're definitely going to give it to me a little bit more than you're giving it to
100%.
everybody else.
Yeah,
So
I'm good.
Jason Witten, new tight ends coach down there. Former Cowboy DeMarco Murray is the running back coach down there. So a couple of the homies linking up on that staff for sure. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I looked at you when we saw it earlier, and I was like, if I'm Jason Witten, kid or not, like I don't want to go back to that grind.
We see guys do it, though.
I put in the work already.
Yeah.
I guess it's just, hey, for the love of the game, man, you just can't scratch that itch enough, I guess, right? But for me, I'm like, hey, I'm Jason Witten. I'm good.
I'm doing it right now.
Let me ask you this, though. If his son commits somewhere else, does he put in his papers right then and there? It's like, I'd rather go watch my son.
You can watch him on Huddle, buddy, when you're breaking down that game tape.
Yeah, exactly.
No doubt.
All righty. So I saw this also in transfer news. Defensive end Keon Keeley, who was a big-time recruit. I know him because he was once committed to Notre Dame.
Okay.
And then flips his commitment to Alabama. He is now in the transfer portal. And so a bunch of people are trying to figure out where he's going. He's visiting Notre Dame and stuff like this. And so I see him getting tagged in some of these commitment-related posts. So I go to his Twitter account. He still has in his Twitter name, not even like his bio, although he has it in there too, but in his Twitter name, someone who's been in college for 3 years, Keon Keeley, 5-star. Tell the truth. If you are 3 years into your college career, are you too old to still have your recruiting ranking in your Twitter name?
I think when you've done nothing in college football, right? He hasn't done much of anything.
I agree.
I think you got to keep that up there. It's just one of the,
Just a reminder.
It's one of the best things you got going.
Hey, man, I used to have it back in the day.
I think it's one of the best things you got going right now.
I am so out on this. And I've been around guys who held on to them stars.
Okay.
I mean, they wouldn't. Yeah. This is one thing you can't take from me is my stars. Gotta let it go. Gotta let it go.
Oh, man. I was watching an episode of The Kardashians.
So we got a couple of mock drafts that dropped today. So all of them have the exact same top 3. Mendoza to the Raiders, Moore to the Jets, and Arvell Reese going at 3 to the Cardinals. And we seem to have a little bit of differentiation at number 6, where we have some have the Browns going offensive tackle, some have the Browns going wide receiver. Well, when you need everything on offense, including a quarterback perhaps, where would you like to see them draft? Just best available, or would you like to see them prioritize a particular position?
I think depending on how much depth is in each category, right? So if you are the Browns and you feel like the offensive line depth is good enough to where when you come back around for your second first-round pick, you feel good about that crop of players, then I wouldn't be mad at taking a receiver. I think the responsible thing to do is to just take an offensive lineman at 6.
I agree with that.
I think that's what they need to do.
I don't think they should even measure the whole, we think this group is deeper. If you think the offensive lineman is going to be better and more valuable to your team today and tomorrow, then you do the wide receiver, that's what you do. And I think that they should go with the offensive line.
I agree.
And especially if Shador is going to play quarterback for them next year. He likes to sit in the pocket. His clock isn't very fast when he's standing in the pocket. Protection.
Smart. And you can never go wrong. It's not fun for fans, right? It's not sexy, but it is important.
You need it.
Yeah, all day.
Nearly an interception by Tyvis Powell. What a mischance that was.
Oh, man.
And today,
man's not even here to defend himself.
Why would you say that, Joe Buck? I don't. Who do you think wins the Fiesta Bowl? Today's fan poll: Ole Miss or Miami?
I think it's going to be Miami. I think it will be Miami, but I will be rooting for Ole Miss.
I'm going with Miami.
Yeah, I think they win.
It's a line of scrimmage.
Yep. And they got that.
And there you have it.
There's Tell the Truth for today. Hey, coming up next, Common Man and Timmy from 3 to 6. The whole gang is back together. Teddy on the board, Common Man back in his seat, Timmy back in his seat. Adam Rittenberg will join at 3:30. And JP, you're back tomorrow.
I am.
Appreciate you coming in, big dog. Hey, and as always, folks, you miss anything from our show, you can always catch up wherever you get your podcast. Just type in Rothman Ice. Take us with you wherever you go. Subscribe to the pod as well. Like the videos on YouTube. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We love you. Shout out to wherever you are and however you're listening. We love you as well. Be safe. We will talk to you guys tomorrow at high noon. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday mornings